After many weeks of competition and the season starting in March, it's time for the showdown to begin. Welcome to round 1 of 5 in the BSRTC Pro Series Showdown, coming to you from the Elkhart Lake Circuit, Road America, more commonly known, for 3 races, 2 of which will be contested by reverse grids. The points have all been closed up and we're getting set for the business end of the season, which will run from now until the end of November, beginning of December. Well, hello everybody. I'm Adam Bath. Joining me alongside me for the next, hopefully for the next 5 weeks of action, all the way through to Daytona, where hopefully it's all still up for grabs. It's a very welcome back. And I didn't think I'd be saying this at one point to Andrew Woodhouse. Woody, welcome back, and you chose the best time to come back, really. It's time for the showdown to...
Yeah, good evening, Adam. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, it's been a strange few weeks for myself. Just very quickly, for those who don't know, I ended up having quite some serious surgery. So, but back on the mend, ready to see some great action in the touring cars. And yeah, what better place, Adam? Road America. It's one of the longer tracks we go to, and it will test the driver's mettle.
Definitely will, and no better way to see that than in qualifying, which is just going underway at the moment. We can also, though, run you through the championship standings, because they probably look quite a bit different to when we last looked at them back at Suzuka 2 weeks ago. Basically now the points have all been closed up for the top 13, the top 15 drivers, made up of the top 12 in points and then 3 wild cards. And they've all been separated out by the podium credits that they have accumulated over the course of the season. So those that finished in 1st, 2nd and 3rd. And we can run you through them. No surprises that it's Wojciech Swidovic that leads the way. His 9 wins and 24 podiums mean that it'd be very difficult for anyone to top that. Nicole Foggy is 25 points behind him. And as we know in the BSRTC, that's virtually nothing. So expect these point standings to change quite a lot over the course of the next few races. Jack Sedgwick is in 3rd. He is only 8 points behind him. Then it's Dave Baker, the season 7 champion, in 4th. Then Alex Simpson in joint 5th with Steve Baxter. Both of them picking up 4 wins for Alex, 7 podiums though, while Steve Baxter picks up 3 wins and 9 podiums. That's why they're on the same amount of points. Then we've got Pete Harrod in 7th, not reigning Club Series champion, a former Club Series champion, one of the series that used to run on a Sunday. And then Jamie Rushworth and Jake Blackhall joint 8th place. And then in 10th, Ross McFarlane. Just a few points between them. Basically, Alex Simpson's 40 points behind Swidovic. Then down to McFarlane in 10th. He's only 7 points behind Alex, so that's how close things are there. Then the last few drivers that qualified on their points, Michael Hall in 11th and Kip Stevens in 12th. And then we've got the 3 wild cards, and one person that's not going to be a surprise to see there is Ash Sutton. Obviously can't commit to the full season because of his British Touring Car Championship commitments. But he's won so many races when he's been here, it's no surprise that he has qualified for the showdown. And he has been joined by Sven Glatzel and Colin Cunniff. And they could really cause an upset or two if they get a good result. And looking at the qualifying standings, if you've been following what's going on, you can already see that we have got a wild card sat in provisional pole in Sven Glatzel, with another wild card, Ash Sutton, starting in 2nd as things stand. So the wildcards may not be living up to their name as things stand. Moving over to the AM category, we've got Rusty Laidler in top position there going into the showdown. It's Adam McNally 13 points behind him in 2nd, and then 6 points further back is Azam Hadfield. 3 different teams. CQR Academy, Northern Lights Racing, Scuderia Haggis represented by McNally, and then Andrew Woothouse's one-time team, it's Immortal in 3rd there. And then it's a 2 Team Mad teammates separated by nothing, both in joint 4th place, Chris Wood and Maciek Sakovic. That's the top 5 there. And there are about 11 or 12 drivers that are going to be testing. Actually, no, it's about 10 drivers testing the Showdown. And finally, the teams, made up of 4 going at it. It's going to be CQR with Northern Lights Racing GT Omega 57 points behind, and then Apex Racing a little bit further back in 3rd with CQR Academy in 4th. Those are the 4 teams that are going to be going out for the majority of the prize money in the BSRTC Pro Series. It mostly goes to the winning team, which makes sense. And Andrew, many of the top teams in the pro category have drafted in as many people as they can, because new rule for this year, it's not the best 3 that score points. Everybody scores points, so they're all going to be as important as each other as we're getting the checkered flag for the qualifying session.
I think that's only fair. I think that, you know, occasionally when we've had non-scoring drivers, it means they can get up to some extracurricular activities. So I think, yeah, now that they're all sort of equally scoring, equally as important, I think it's the best. It's going to help people be a little bit more careful, I think.
Definitely, and I wonder how careful everybody's going to be today. It is the first race meeting of the Showdown. 5 weeks, as we alluded to at the beginning of the show. We start here at Road America. We end the season in Daytona, and we can quickly run you through the rest of the circuits that'll be in the Showdown as well. He says, looking for the photo of it. I can tell you that we go to Monza No Chicane, which always provides excitement. It pretty much is the Talladega of the Showdown, really, because it's going to be a survival of the fittest around there. And we'll go to many other racetracks as well between then and the end of the season, all posing different challenges. And as you can tell, I'm waffling a little bit, but looking at the top 10 in qualifying, just before we get the grid up on screen, it's very much dominated by the pro teams competing in the teams champion. Got Northern Lights Racing GT Omega cars starting in 1st, 3rd, 7th, 8th positions on the grid, and then the rest are made up of CQR and Apex Racing, with Sutton starting 2nd in the CQR car, Alex Simpson in 4th, his teammates Savidovic and Sedgwick 5th and 6th, and then Rushworth, Blackhall and Baker running at the top 11. So that's how things play out there. And the reverse grids too, that we've got to factor into the occasion, Woody, because race 2 and race 3, it's a look at the draw. Excuse me, it's a look at the draw with the reverse grid wheel, and if it's a big one, it can seriously hamper the drivers that have finished at the top in race 1, because they're going to be right in the midfield, and a track like Road America, it's pretty narrow.
Yeah, well, for those who haven't joined us before, what happens is we take the first race's result, we put it through our spinning wheel, and then the number that it lands on is the one that's going to get pole position. And in many cases, of course, Adam, it can be a full, which means the entire grid that finished within 1 lap of the leader gets reversed, and well, chaos usually ensues, doesn't it? Because you've got a lot of very fast drivers all the way through this grid, but the faster ones will be starting near the back.
Definitely, and there are going to be there's quick drivers all throughout this field, we must admit. It's probably been one of the most competitive BSRTC seasons ever, really, and I really cannot call who's going to be lifting the trophy at the end of the season. Right then, the gridding process is about to begin. Are you in the session, Woody? I haven't.
Yeah, mate. I can take everybody through the grid.
Take it away.
Like. So, it's pole for Sven Glatzel for Northern Lights Racing GT Omega ahead of Ashley Sutton. Stephen Baxter in 3rd, Alex Simpson in 4th. He'll be looking for a strong showdown, he was telling us earlier on. Wojciech Savidovic in 5th, Jack Sedgwick in 6th, Nico Foggy 7th for NLR as well. NLR and Apex Racing dominating the top 8 positions. Ross McFarlane is 8th with Jamie Rushworth in 9th. The Australian Jake Blackhall is 10th. He'll be looking for some good luck out there in what I believe is his first showdown. David Baker is 11th. Christian Rose is in P12. 13th for Daniel Brown in the other NLR team, the Scuderia Haggis, with George Simmons in 14th, Pete Newman in 15th, and Pete Harrod for CQR in 16th. Michael Hall, his teammate, is in 17th, with Adam McNally 18th, and then the highest Simortal car of Adam Hadfield is in 19th, with Rusty Laidler in 20th. Chris Wood is 21st for Team Mad ahead of Brian Holmes. Jack McIntyre 23rd, Kip Stevens is 24th. He's won 2 titles in this series. 25th is Scott Malcolm for Automate Knockhill, then it's Magic Sakovic, Craig Williams, Martin Front, and Paul Smith, Mark Woodhouse, Miguel Freitas, Anwar Burrow Smith in the Youth Energy car, Robert Graham, Morgan Butler, Michael Blake, the team principal for Simauto, and Ronald Moons. And then Lee Deemer, Max Wright, William Daniels, Colin Cunningham for bringing up the rear. It's Mark Johnston, Adam as the lights go out.
We're underway. The showdown is underway. Good start from Glatzel, Sutton 2. And a great start from Alex Simpson. He's already got himself into 3rd place as we go towards the first corner. 90-degree right-hander. Wojciech Svidovic is also making moves. Stephen Baxter's the one that looks like he might be about to lose out. 2 places here going through the first corner. He's got an Apex car in front of him, an Apex car to his left. But now the corner will go in his favour going into officially turn 3. And there he goes up the inside of Wojciech. So the reigning champion remains in 5th. Baxter loses 1 place from the start. Biggest mover so far is out in the top 15 positions is George Simmons. He's gained 2 already as we go onto the back straight, Andrew.
Yeah, great start from Alex Simpson. He got up into 3rd position. Sutton and Glatzel. This could be potentially a tasty battle. Sutton, we know he's very good on the brakes up the inside into the corner at the bottom of the hill. Some say turn 3, some say turn 5, but whatever it is it's probably the main overtaking place on the circuit. Glatzel resists this time, and Ash Sutton, who didn't win the British Touring Car Championship this year, but he was voted in some circles as the best driver in the field.
Yeah, so many disqualifications and whatnot, car infringements and...
Oh, slow down, it looks like maybe for McFarlane. Sorry, Adam, He was going slowly on the inside line. He's losing places.
Yeah, that's not gone at all well for him. Qualified just inside the top 10, but now he's dropping right down the order. And on the first lap, if you're new to iRacing, if you do get a slowdown penalty for cutting a corner, then you're really going to be at a disadvantage because the sim does not know how much time to penalise you, so it just docks you a whole load of seconds. But it looks like he's recovered as well as his teammate goes grass trekking through the king.
Yeah, it's got to be foggy, hasn't it, that? I think, is it? No, it might not be. It might actually be...
the British flag on the top. Might be Dan Brown.
Is it Brown, actually? Yeah.
Yeah, Dan Brown, the Pro-Am driver, as we go into Canada corner. There's a Sim Auto car going up the inside. That is a good move by Mark Johnston to get past Anwar Burrell Smith, and shows you how many cars we get in the BSRTC, yeah.
Great, by the way, great start by Mark Johnston, Adam. He started very much last on the grid.
Yeah, he's gained 3 spots. 6 spots already, up to the low 30s as we come out of the final corner now to cross the finishing line to complete the opening lap. It's Sven Glatzel that leads, Ash Sutton 2nd, Alex Simpson 3rd, Steve Baxter 4th, Svidovic 5th, Foggy 6th, 7th Sedgwick, 8th Rushworth, 9th Baker, 10th Jake Blackwell. As a number of drivers get lit up in red on the timing tower, that means they've gone off the track a little bit, and I'm sure they'll be using all of the curbs and maybe even bits of grass as well as they try to gain as much speed as they can for a very power-hungry circuit here.
Do you reckon we'll see much separation here? Because even though it's quite technical in places, especially that middle sector, we do have 2 or 3 long straights which, you know, can help the drivers use the slipstream effect. So what do you reckon? Oh, is there almost a bit of contact at the front? Yeah,
Sutton potentially trying to cut back there. Alex Simpson looks a bit racy in the early going. Back to your point though, it's been a while since we raced here in the BSRTC. I can't really think of too many times we've been at this track before, but when we have, you're right, it has been pretty close in terms of the slipstream, because if you can just about hang on to the coattails of the car in front through this middle sector, then you've got a really good chance of getting the tow, going out the final corner, up the hill, and then getting the move done into maybe turn 1 or turn 2. So Sutton will have plenty of weapons in his arsenal here to try and get past Sven Glatzel. And the Northern Ice Racing GT Omega doing a good job so far. As you can see from the timing tower as well, it is a 20-minute race, the opening race, and then how many laps it takes in this first race will determine the laps for race 2 and race 3. It's a good system, and we've got 16 minutes to go, just under 16 minutes to go, as you can tell. And Sutton sliding about under braking, a real trait of the Kia Optima. Looks like he got a better exit there though, but I think he's going to make too much use of it as we go through what I believe is known as Thunder Valley.
Yeah, and Bill Mitchell Bend is that left-hander as well, just after Thunder Valley. Sven Glatzel, Adam, he's one of these guys who has something to prove in this showdown. He has to prove that he can be consistent and that he can lead the team. 4 wins for him, but his pace often belies his results, and or the other way around, if you like. But here comes Ash Sutton up the inside. Is he going to get it done into turn 1? It is medium speed through here, and Glatzel gets forced wide. Is there an overlap for Simpson on the inside? Could well be. Glatzel's going to really commit into turn 2 here, just to stay ahead of the Apex Racing car, who's now coming under some pressure from Stephen Baxter. And, well, Baxter's been an absolute revelation this season, Adam, with 3 victories.
Yeah, and he led the regular season for the majority of it as we go under the Cheese Bridge, the first time we brought that up, and here they come. The Northern Lights Racing GT Omega cars out of nowhere.
Simpson under braking collides with Baxter, and he's going to get turned round. There's going to be a melee at the bottom of the hill. Simpson moved, he looked like he drifted across under braking. Nothing Baxter could do. And Stephen Baxter there sees his hopes of a win dashed, as does Simpson.
Well, Alex Simpson has managed to get going again in 11th. But can he keep going is the question, and it looks like he will be able to. Maybe just a bit of damage to the front left. You can see the bonnet just etched up a little bit on that left-hand side. Shouldn't hamper the car too much, but in terms of also Stephen Baxter, thank you Sam as he brings him up, he's got pretty similar damage as well. They both hit that tyre barrier. He's in 22nd place.
As much as I hate to say it, it wouldn't surprise me if Alex takes a penalty for that. It's obviously up to the stewards, but yeah, it looked like Baxter was holding his line. I'll have to see it again potentially later on, but yeah, not the best. Sim Autocar running wide through the kink. That's not the place you want to go off the track here. That's for sure. We've seen some absolutely gigantic accidents both in real life and sim racing through there. And yeah, very dangerous corner with a concrete wall on the outside. That's not what you want to hit.
No, we saw a car burst into flames here, didn't we? In the I don't think it was the IMSA series race.
Catherine Legg, wasn't it? Was it IndyCar or was it?
Oh, we saw that as well. Yeah.
Was that a different one? Yeah, but
yeah, I was thinking of one of the sports car races we had around here. But yeah,
you get it wrong there.
Yeah.
And that's the end of your race. It's very simple.
Probably same in this as well. iRacing does sim it, so the concrete walls do really punish you. Ash Sutton didn't get the best run through the first corner there, which is a bit of a rarity. And he's now under pressure from Sven Glatzel. We saw a lap ago it's very difficult to get a move done through that second corner because it's very medium speed, and therefore the car on the outside that's potentially getting past can hold their own round the outside. But here they go.
Yeah, and what this has done is it's put these two into an absolutely great position when they're kind of on their own. What can Glatzel do under braking? He can match Ash Sutton. Sutton carries the speed beautifully though around the outside. Is it enough to get clear? I'm not sure. Into this very tight blind. Oh, Sutton just absolutely just dicing with danger. Just a couple of inches away from Glatzel's car, but we saw in that finale at Brands Hatch with Josh Cook just how close he can race with people and cleanly. Ash Sutton these days, which you wouldn't have said a few years ago, as it's still going on. And under the sausage bridge we go, as the other food-themed bridge on the circuit, and through the carousel. Well, Sutton through.
Got shades of the US Grand Prix of the weekend, isn't it? And I had a look at the gap as between second and third at the end of the back straight. It was 1.8 seconds between second and third.
Oh, he's gone wide. He's going off. Oh, tell you what, it's kind of a good job it's front-wheel drive because he was able to just plant the throttle and somehow get enough traction. But Glatzel isn't going to give up. Man from Germany. Oh, he tries the cutback, but he finds a CQR car parked right in his way.
And look how close third place is. It was 1.8 seconds between second and third at the start of this lap. It's now down to I make that half a second as Glatzel closest right to the back of Ash Sutton again. And we're going to go at it yes again here as we come up the hill. We'll see what Glatzel can do. We can see if Wojciech can hold on to the back of them. He's definitely within slipstream range. Sutton knows that. He's moving over to the inside straight away. But that might not be the favourable line because Glatzel might just get enough of the car alongside to swoop into the lead here. Sutton!
Oh my word!
Oh. Well, I don't know how much space there was between the right rear of Glatzel and the left front of Sutton, but it was, I think it was probably
wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
It was not a lot. It's the way that the thing is that this is where sometimes, as much as it's great to watch, sometimes the Kia can get into a bit of trouble under braking as it snakes around. We saw that with Simpson and Baxter. And now Glatzel's going to what will be the outside at the bottom of the hill. Quite a tricky braking area here, Adam, because it's, you know, you see the trees, you don't exactly know where to brake. Some drivers use the outside concrete as well. And Glatzel, oh, that's going to be difficult to keep that on, but does maintain that overlap. Sutton, this time though, dives into the lead. No, to keep the lead fully into that tight left-hand corner. Top of that little crest. Glatzel, oh, he thought about a look, didn't he, into the 90 left. Oh. It's not an easy place to pass that though, is it? It looks like a tight corner, but realistically the braking area is quite small.
Yeah, we do see more crashes than passes there, I think, going through that left-hander. We have seen a few crashes at the end of that back straight as well. I think we saw one car dangling from the catch fence, both in real life and in the iRacing world as well. That is a hot spot for big ones. Through the kink we go. Another hot spot here. They all run so wide there. I wouldn't take the risk. I'd be probably braking almost going through there. But here comes Glatzel, looking to the inside just a little bit, but no way through as of yet. We've just gone past the halfway mark in this opening race of the day, and it's anyone's game, I think, between the top 6. We've got, you can see from the track map there that we've got everybody within the same sector on the circuit, really, down to about 35th as we come through the final corner. It's Sutton of Great Britain versus Glatzel of Germany, and Savidovic of Poland, lives in Ireland now, in 3rd place. And all driving for 3 different teams. The 3 teams competing, 3 of the 4 teams competing for the Pro Teams Championship as we come across the line.
Well, here comes Glatzel again. And we asked about separation, Adam. It doesn't look like we're going to get any. And oh, there's very little separation between these two. Sutton, if anything, just runs a tiny bit wide. It could allow Glatzel the lead here. Oh, and he's trying to pinch him a little bit. Glatzel sliding the car. Tiny bit out of control, but it was enough to maintain it. But what this means is now Sutton is... Oh, no, this isn't going to be good. They need to be careful because we have seen some absolutely massive ones down this back straight in the past.
Yeah, I think Savidovic might want to hold back a little bit here, going into the left-hander at the end of the straight.
These two are putting on an absolute clinic at the front, and well,
I thought he was going to get both of them.
Oh,
they both ran very wide.
He might have been able to get one, I think, if he'd have really committed. But I think, like you said, I think he's biding his time. He knows that the Showdown, even though it's not necessarily a massively long, it's not a massively long part of the season, is it, the Showdown? But you can lose it with a few DNFs. We've seen that early on. People have had some absolutely shocking starts to the Showdown, and you know, have lost championships or very nearly lost championships. Just a little note as we go through the kink. Our colleague Ryan Walker's on the YouTube chat. He very helpfully pointed out that Catherine Legg's crash was, it was in the Champ Car World Series when that was still a thing, 2006 or 2007, he was saying.
Yeah, Champ Car Series finished at the end of 2007. It had a one-off race at Long Beach in 2008, just hours after Danica Patrick won her first ever IndyCar race. Last ever Champ Car race then at Long Beach in 2008 was won by a certain Will Hauer, I believe.
There you go.
I wonder what he went on to achieve. Yeah, going back to your point about the Showdown, this is probably the safest track of the ones that we're going to go to, I reckon. So you definitely want to get points on the board here. Next week we go to the Glen, the classic Glen as well. So it's going to be very, very quick around there.
That's almost super speedway territory for these Kia Optimas, isn't it?
Pretty much is. And here comes Glatzel for the lead again, going into turn 1.
And he's really gone deep on the brakes. He's gone onto the marbles. And that slowed him down sufficiently, maybe for Savidovic to capitalise. Can he do it into turn 2? It's quite difficult to pass into 2, actually. And Wojciech not able to. Sedgwick is here now. This group is, excuse me, really coming together. Rushworth, Baker and Foggy all in it. All with an opportunity.
So there's a 0.6 of a second advantage. Here comes Sedgwick. First Showdown for him, and he's almost pushing his teammates as we get on the brakes. What does Jamie Rushworth do on the outside? He hasn't won a title for 4 years, I should say. Got how the time flies there.
They're all going wide there. The bottom of the hill. All Foggy with the Scottish flag on the top of his car versus David Baker. Baker's fighting tooth and nail to hang on to that 6th place. Surprise, surprise.
Cedric was all over the place though. Front wheel drift going through there, and here comes Rushworth to take advantage.
Cedric probably has the most damage out of any of these guys, actually, looking at his car.
I wonder if he picked that up in the Alex Simpson melee, because it did get bumper to bumper, all concertinaed up at one point, and I wonder if he picked up the damage there.
The Ross McFarlane fan club's out in force on the YouTube chat. A couple of optimistic statements, to be honest, about his quality, but he's a very, very good driver as it is. Yeah, I probably wouldn't go as far as what the gentleman said on the YouTube chat, but he is a very, very, very top driver.
He's sat in 15th place, so he's been able to stop the rot after that slowdown penalty, and he's right in the middle of a gigantic scrap as he taps the back of Pete Newman there, going through Canada corner. Pete Newman driving for CQR Academy, the 4th of teams competing for the Pro Series Showdown. Of course, there are Pro-Am teams having their own Showdown too. We haven't really mentioned that. We will over the course of the evening, but for now, McFarlane trying to get back those positions he lost on the opening lap out of the final corner, coming up the hill. Not too long to go here. We've got 4 minutes, and as you can see, as lap times slide out, it's over a 2-minute lap. So I reckon by the time we get to the line, we're going to be getting the white flag for the final lap of the race. So just 2 laps to go.
Yeah, this is... Well, I thought McFarlane might be able to have a look at Newman, but Newman had a little bit of slipstream from Michael Hall, prevented the Scotsman from really getting any momentum. Now he does have the momentum. Now Newman has to defend into 2. Newman, very experienced. A couple of showdowns for him in the past. Didn't make it this time, but 2 12th place finishes overall in some strong fields, and this is going to be very close down the main straight, but the longest straight on the course. Newman's late on the brakes. He almost hits his teammate, Adam.
God, and he's going to pay the price as a result. 1 and 2 places lost. That's Harrod gaining a place 2. He is...
Oh, and I think, did he just get hit by another one of the CQR Academy cars? Laidler coming in there.
Then, no need to talk about Rusty Laidler. If you've watched the BSRTC before, you've definitely heard of him. He's the Pro-Am leader, of course. He leads the Pro-Am Championship going into the Showdown as Foggy runs wide, going through the left-hander, going under the Speedville Sausage Bridge. And just to complete the calendar, we go to Interlagos after Watkins Glen. Then we go to Monza, no first chicane, and then Daytona. So after this one, it's probably the quickest tracks of the year that we're going to go to as we go through the kink again.
Rusty Laidler almost reminds me, in the best possible way, almost reminds me of like Wolf from Gladiators, where if you get on his bad side, you're going to know about it, and he's going to make your life quite miserable out there on the circuit. But yeah, very good driver. He's won some races in this series before, and always there or thereabouts. And to be fair, actually, this season, Adam, I think he's raised his game a bit, because the previous season we seem to find him down in the 30s quite a lot, but this time he was 16th in the championship. I mean, he was the first man who missed the Showdown, really.
Yeah, it's the power of the CQR team. I think they've got so many great resources at their disposal. Final lap of the race, and it's crunch time in the Balfour.
Oh man, look at
Glatzel's
car. Have you seen how much it's sliding around? Sutton goes wide onto the grass, and maybe Glatzel senses some vulnerability here in the 2017 British Touring Car Champion. Never a BSRTC champion, Ash Sutton. He'll be looking to rectify that in 2018. Can he do it?
Yeah, we're about to find out. This is the first real overtaking spot on the circuit then. On the brakes, into the left-hander.
Oh, Glatzel's gone super deep. He's gone really late on the brakes. This is a great effort by the NLR man.
To the top of the hill, then under the Corvette bridge, it's going to be Sutton has the inside line. Does Savidovic get involved? He holds back for now, and Sutton just about is clear of the Northern Ice racing car, but this is by no means over. He hits the grass. Oh, dear me.
What a final lap so far. If there's anybody who can nick a race from 3rd place on the last lap, it's Wojciech Savidovic. We have seen it before. Sutton now has 3 or 4 car lengths. Might just be enough. We'll see as he goes through the carousel. And once we've been through this very long right-hander, we've just got the kink, Canada corner, and then the last sector where really it's almost impossible to overtake. So Glatzel's going to have to do it now.
Yeah, he's going to have a mighty kink, and then he's going to have to get some of the slipstream. You can see how everybody's pushing on the final lap. Nico Foggy running onto the grass almost. If anything, it looks like Glatzel might be under threat from second going into Canada corner, but Savidovic doesn't make an attempt just yet, although he does close up going under braking. And Jamie Rushworth, I think, has got past Dave. Oh no, it's Baker getting past Foggy in the background. That's what's happened. So Baker through into his customary 6th place as we come into the final corner. They're still going at it in the background, but it looks like Ash Sutton is going to take the opening win of the showdown as we come up the hill. Don't want to run out of fuel here, but looks like everybody's going to make it to the line, and here comes the checker flag.
Round 1 of the showdown, round 1 at Road America, goes to Ash Sutton and CQR. Well, that was a great race, Adam. I really enjoyed that. And Sven Glatzel, maybe he didn't enjoy it quite as much, who knows, but I'm sure he'll be happy to start his showdown off right with 2nd place.
Top 2, both wild cards. Don't think that would have been on the
cards
script at all. Yeah, definitely not at all. Very, very good. I missed an opportunity there. You're on the ball more than I am. Anyway, Alex Simpson managed to get 9th in the end after the crash down at turn 5, and his assailant in Steve Baxter finished 20th in the end. So he'll be hoping for a small reverse grid. One person that does love to benefit from them, Kip Stevens, finished in 21st, so he too will be hoping for a small reverse grid too. And some names towards the bottom of the field that could be in need of a big one, like Colin Cunniff, who was a wild card as well, but didn't have the best result. He
started 40th and he found progress very difficult. It looks like.
Should mention, if you're new to the BSRTC, it's better to score than it's better to get a finish than not finish at all. Probably makes sense, but the way the BSRT scoring system goes, even if you finish 34th, you're going to get a substantially huge amount of points compared to a 0. So that could make or break the title, really.
Yeah, that's it. It's not like Formula 1 where if you finish 11th, you get the same amount of points as finishing 20th. If you finish, 34th, and yet the 35th place guy is out, then you're going to do your championship a great deal of good. And that's why we mentioned at the beginning of the show that DNFs can really kill it for you in this showdown. Now, speaking of DNFs, actually, Adam, in that race, there were only 2. It's Mark Johnston, who made that fantastic start, and then it looks like it all went to hell for him. And Max Wright, who started 38th and never really went anywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the Simmortal and the Automech Not Kill team. We didn't really mention the teams contesting the Pro-Am title, but Simmortal is one of them. Looks like Automech just missed out on it. The 3 teams that make up the Pro-Am Showdown are going to be Team Mad, Northern Ice Racing Scuderia Haggis, who have 1 car in the top 12 in Dan Brown, and then Simmortal as well. So those are the teams competing there, and Mark Johnston to get a 0. It hasn't got off to the best possible start. Lee Deemer down there, Ronald Moons 2. So we will see what that does to the championship when we get ready for the build-up for race 2. I believe we are going to have points updating over the course of the evening, so we'll be able to give you an accurate tale of what's going on in terms of the points. Sure, as Ash Sutton comes back to the pit lane, he is going to be rocketing his way up that championship order after winning the opening race of the day. As I believe everybody is finished, and I don't know if you want to run them through the results or
yeah, why not? Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Yeah, take them away.
All right, Ash Sutton then with the victory, only 0.2 of a second in it. And really, that was a race where the standing sheet really doesn't tell you the story of how back and forth it was, how many lead changes, how many side-by-side laps and corners there were. Really tremendous performance by all concerned. Wojciech Svidovic in 3rd. Could be pretty happy with that after starting in 5th. Jack Sedgwick in 4th. Likewise, gaining positions, always important. Jamie Rushworth in 5th. He gained 4 spots. And Dave Baker gained 5. Then it was Nico Foggy in the other NLR GT Omega car, ahead of Jake Blackall. Alex Simpson was involved with Stephen Baxter. We'll have to see if anything comes of that. He finished 9th though. ahead of George Simmons. Christian Rose was in 11th, Daniel Brown in 12th, Michael Hall 13th, 14th for Ross McFarlane. We saw him get that slow down. He dropped down to about 16th, 17th place, I think, and did manage to gain a couple before the end. Pete Harrod in 15th place. Showdown contender, of course, Harrod. He'll be looking for better moving forward. Rusty Laidler in 16th, Adam McNally 17th. Pete Newman is in 18th, and Adam Hadfield in 19th, one of the contenders for the AM category. Hadfield in 3rd in that at the minute. And then Stephen Baxter in 20th, Kip Stevens 21st, Brian Holmes 22nd. Then it was Chris Wood in 23rd position, ahead of Jack McIntyre. And then Scott Malcolm in 25th, Martin Front in 26th, Maciek Sakovic 27th, Paul Smith 28th, Craig Williams 29th. Then it was Mark Woodhouse in 30th, ahead of Michael Blake 31st. And then 32nd was Anwar Smith, Miguel Freitas 33rd, Colin Cunniff, lowest placed Showdown contender. He really needs it to turn around for him, and he'll be hoping that the reverse grid wheel will do just that. Robert Graham 35th, Ronald Moons in 36th, and then 37th place was William Daniels, Lee Deemer in 38th, 39th Morgan Butler, and then the two retirements, as we mentioned, Adam, Mark Johnston and Max Wright.
Thanks very much indeed, Andrew. And then it's time to bring in the third member of our broadcast crew tonight. It's Sam Kumo, who has the reverse grid wheel at the ready. One of the most important jobs of the broadcast, really. And he's going to tell us who's going to be on pole for the second race of the day here at Road America and the second race of the Showdown. So take it away, Sam. Let's see who's going to be on the pole. Is it going to be a small one or is it going to be a big one?
Yeah, thanks Adam. We are spinning the wheel. And I think this is the most fun part of the race, at least for some people. And it is going to be full -3.
Well, that will be...
So full would have been 39, 38, 37, 36. It should be Ronald Moons then, shouldn't it?
Ronald Moons, in the Immortal car.
Look who that's going to help out. Colin Cunniff.
Well, yeah, he's going to be starting on the second row of the grid. It's going to be an all-AM front row. The days of the 99 are pretty much over now as the autumn chill takes its toll. But it still lives on for Ronald Moons. He's going to be on the pole for the second race, with Robert Graham second, Cunniff third, Freitas fourth, and Anwar Smith starting in fifth. So if that first race didn't whet your appetite, then race 2, it's going to be even better. So join us after the break here on Apex Racing TV. And we get set for round 2 of the Showdown in the Sim Racer Touring Car Championship. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, you see a lot of Mercedes, 3 BMWs and 2 Ferraris as the cars are getting to the start-finish line, to the last corner, aptly named, and we begin race 1 of the Showdown here in Okayama with Michael Evdoka, McFadden and Danes already jumping one spot in third position. Little bit of tire squeal, maybe a bit too much. Evdoka is around and he's hit by, I think that was I think it was Dimmer that hit Evdoka there, and so already Sam, some troubles for the championship leader. Because the Ferraris are in a breakaway.
Back. Yeah, just quickly trying to see what actually happened. Did he just lose it on his own, or... Yeah, just too fast into turn 1, slides it. And yeah, that was Jamie Ayres with that green Mercedes.
As Evdoka is in the pits, and I think that is a game over for him, not only for this race 1, but also, and as Ayres goes into the pits, so damn big damage for him as well. Danes is trying to line up a move on McFadden, but the black, I would say the black Ferrari, the CQR Ferrari is a bit far away, but he makes a mistake, and Danes gets the position, and we have a new leader already, lap 2, and we have the first pass for position, as McFadden is trying to gather up himself and maybe go for a move there, as Danes completely misses the braking there at the hairpin, and once again he's sideways and McFadden takes the lead. And he's going for it. That was a very, very brave move, but I think it's working, even though Malcolm will have the inside in the revolver corner. And he's able to keep their position so far. Now the run to the hairpin, the other hairpin, first, the one on the left hand. Cullinan on the inside, Malcolm on the outside. And now once again, he will have the inside Scott Malcolm, but this time is the Irish driver that is able to complete the move.
And what has happened at the front? It just suddenly gotten really close.
Absolutely super close, 0.1 of a second. Blocking on the inside is McFadden. Danes looking inside and outside at the hairpin, and McFadden is able to defend, so maybe a mistake, but you see he's pushing extremely hard. Danes is bumper to bumper with McFadden. Good run there by McFadden, and coming out of the right hand, the long and uphill right hander that brings us to the hairpin, but now with the slipstream he has to defend on the inside. Great dive there by McFadden. Can he hold the car? He can't, and McFadden stays in first position, and a touch, and McFadden is around in the gravel. But Danes is far, far away in the distance. Let's see a replay. Another crisscross moment here, left, right. And slightest of touches, front right with left rear sent. Oh, and Danes is waiting, I think, for McFadden. He is, and he's given the position back. A fantastic show of sportsmanship here at Okayama in the showdown. McFadden, unless anything surprising happens, is going to be your race 1 winner. Nice dive there by Danes. Now we will have the inside, little contact once again. They both stop, they both come to a halt. But in the end, it's McFadden with the race win in Okayama for the first round of the showdown, and Danes is in second with a fantastic battle. So once again, 20-minute race, no pit stops, pace car is in, and we are racing in Okayama for race 2 of this first round of the showdown, as Jamie Ayres has the lead. Underhill is in second, and Hardy Jacobson Robinson this first corner, very, very dangerous. We've seen in race 1 with Evdoka going sideways and destroying his race. Everybody seems to be behaving.
And he really needs to get a move on if he wants to fight for the position, as that is McFadden going on the inside, collides with Evdoka, and they crash.
And you know, I say it all the time. Oh, look at that, 3 wide.
No, that
and
is a
there's
bad
a car
idea.
in the fence. Yeah, a car in the fence there, it's Robinson.
Yeah, I don't blame it. There's so much action going on that it's really difficult to keep up with who is going. And here comes this Stains on the lead Deemer.
Yeah, as
Makes
McFadden is coming. Josh Thompson on his inside there. Coming to the hairpin, hard on the brakes. Thompson makes the move.
Oh, and that is very close with Chris Danes and Carl Hardy.
Yeah, Danes was sideways in the previous corners, then he hit a little bit Hardy in the back. This of course gives Thompson the chance of having a good run. They are side by side going into the first corner. As McFadden is back into the pits, no reason to continue for him. He will start last in race 3. As there's a huge train of cars. Danes move to the inside. Thompson moves to the outside. They are not 3 wide, almost 3 wide. The Ferrari is in P2. But
yeah,
here comes Underhill once again.
Ooh.
I think it was a bit sideways, and yeah, he lost a bit of time there, and many positions lost by Underhill after that mistake. I think his aim is to get the best possible exit out of the final corner. Maybe go for a move on the inside. Danes is defending very well. That Ferrari is extremely wide. But now a bad exit from the last corner gives Josh Thompson the position, maybe even a slowdown for Danes side by side. But once again, Danes will have the inside, and this will advantage Evdoka, of course, as he is pushed a bit wide there. Now he has the inside at Revolver, and he's able to make the move side by side there. Can he make it stick? Little bit of a bump there. All done in good spirits, good hard racing. Michael Evdoka working hard for the pass. Danes puts his nose in. Once again, side by side, a little more contact as well for good measure. But in the end, it's Michael Evdoka completing the pass. Sam, it took like half a lap for Evdoka to make this move, but it was worth it in the end. As this time is truly time for celebration for Jamie Ayres, as the Welsh flags are in the air here in Okayama for the number 46 driver Mercedes. Great race win from Jamie Ayres.
Yeah, Jamie Ayres got a good run here. Clean away there, followed by Josh Thompson, but then we have good battle with Michael Evdoka and Chris Danes for the 3rd place. Chris Danes is currently in the lead, and also Josh Thompson looking at the inside of Jamie Ayres, who takes the inside line. Oh, and that is contact between Chris Danes and Josh Thompson.
Little bit of contact, but Thompson takes the lead. Ayres in 2nd place, Evdoka is in 3rd, and Danes is in 4th position.
Just taking a look at what happened. We missed this on the screen. Oh, hard hit with Cullinan, I believe, yes.
Yeah. With the amount of fuel you put in Evdoka on the inside of Ayres. Once again, at the hairpin, side-by-side contact. Shoulder barge there by Evdoka. It works, and he's up to P2. Scott Malcolm's fuel strategy looks to be a bit more risky as Danes goes sideways at Revolver, and he's in the gravel. This is going to cost him some time. He gets back on the track. He loses 1 position to Anthony Jacobson. But most importantly, he loses Jamie Ayres, and he was looking very good there.
6 seconds, 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds. Oh, that is a long pit stop. Did he accidentally... 12 seconds. Yeah, that is way too much more, I believe.
Yeah.
And now he is going to end up behind the Malcolm, Cullinan and Beamer.
Here comes the Malcolm train, and yes, Robinson has to slot in behind them. As we have a massive battle for P6, Malcolm is keeping a lot of guys behind him, and he has been doing so for a lot of laps. Maybe Cullinan has had enough as he's trying for a move on the outside into the right-hander that brings us to the backstretch, and the Irishman is around him, but now better exit from Malcolm. They're going to be side by side on the back straightaway.
Yeah, Malcolm's car has definitely been the extra wide version for these past few laps. Let's see if Cullinan can give it on the outside line and take the position, and so far it looks good for Cullinan. Cullinan takes the 6th place. Malcolm drops down to 7th, and that is Deemer hungry for that position right behind him.
And you see on the live track map, the number 2 on the right side is Josh Thompson coming into the last corner. Evdoka, super quick stop, 6 seconds, coming out of the pits. It's going to be a drag race, and I think Michael Evdoka will be in the lead. So good strategy call by Michael Evdoka. Very short stop, only 6 seconds. Evdoka with a good strategy in the end. If he can hold on, he must be running on fumes, but he's keeping the lead of 2.5 seconds over Josh Thompson into the final corner. Michael Evdoka will not run out of fuel and will win this third race of the evening, with Josh Thompson finishing second. So the overcut worked for Michael Evdoka, and that's a great win and a great comeback overall after a terrible race 1.
I don't think he was fuel saving as much as it made out to be. I think here there's a big difference in each car's like strong points. I think it's like the BMW is really good in the last sector with the tight hairpins, but the Mercedes in the actual grunt was so much better in the first sector. So it just like backed and forward quite a lot. I'll speak to Michael after. So yeah, and then I think cause I've not even done a pen trip this track since I first ever started on iRacing here. So I came in, I didn't know where it was. There was 2 sets of cones, and I think Michael got away going to the second cones, whereas I panicked and braked at the first cones. So my fault really in a way, but I can't really complain.
Don't miss the rest of the broadcast that we are going to have here on Apex Racing TV for the rest of the week. Until then, for Sam Kumo, I am Marco Barbanera, and we will catch you very soon on Apex Racing TV.
Hi there, I'm Richard Jobling, Senior Software Engineer here at iRacing. I'd like to show you some of the work that we've been doing to improve the collision and the damage in our sim. One of the major changes we've made is how our collision systems work. The old system stored the track as parametric surfaces, and the cars were made of collections of spheres. As the cars moved around the track, we would recompute planes using the track surfaces, and then test those against the spheres. This worked well for spheres, but was too specialized to adapt to our shapes. So for the new system, we've built new high-resolution meshes for each track. This is more efficient and gives us a lot more flexibility for the car shapes. The new mesh incorporates all the track features our guys work so hard to replicate. Things like curb geometry and changes in the surface material are all baked into the mesh. We've also taken our laser scan data and applied that to the mesh. And since the mesh is so high resolution, we capture all the detail that's necessary so that the tracks are just like the real thing. With our new mesh, we can now represent cars using smooth, convex hulls, which grouped together form the chassis, the bodywork, and all the other parts of the car. The new shapes are a much closer fit to the shape of the real car. During impacts, the shapes can deform according to the damage, and eventually they can break off as separate objects. All the parts, like wings, hoods, and wheels, can also hang from their joints, flapping and vibrating until they eventually snap off. All these changes are going to add a whole new level of realism to our races. If you want to find out more, please visit iRacing.com and check out my blog post for lots more details.
Hi, my name is Greg Hill. I'm the Vice President of Art and Production here at iRacing. This damage project that we've been discussing is certainly a project that involved all hands on deck to pull off. We've got a rather sizable number of cars in our portfolio, and not all of these cars have been built with this dynamic damage system in mind. So what we had to do is one by one go through our race cars, and we had a team of 3 artists, a highly technical modeler, our technical art director, and our associate art director. All took on each car one at a time, and the work involved was researching that car, researching what would happen to that car if it were in a crash, depending on the forces involved in the crash, how severely it would be damaged, what parts might come off, what those pieces might look like when they're removed, what it would look like where the car has areas exposed that were previously covered by bodywork. So they had to do a lot of modeling to each race car, and they had to do a lot of work to essentially set up how the car would react to forces. So essentially setting the strength of the materials. What kind of force would it take to rip off this side pod, for example? Or under what circumstances would this nose cone get ripped off of a car? Or under which would it remain, but just be badly damaged? But all said, it's been a lot of work, but seeing the car models interact with the physics system and the new crash dynamics is really exciting and really cool to see, and definitely makes all that hard work worth it.
Hi, my name is Jose Diaz. I'm a visual effects artist at iRacing. I specialize in particle effects ranging from fireworks to water fountains, debris, crash, impacts, all in the service of improving the driving experience. So you have the main sort of new damage model that Richard's been working on. So that takes into consideration all the mounts and the chassis from the cars and which materials they are. And he's making all the calculations that tell you, like, okay, it got hit from this one side and the strength of that impact is this certain amount of values. If you hit something, that means that this mount gets off, something breaks. This gets added on top of that to sort of complement what is happening there with things that you would see in real life when a car crashes. So typically in a car crash, you will see all these little particles of dust, metal, scratches that will take all that force and momentum and kind of explode in a way. And it's all being driven by how fast the car was coming, how hard the impact was against what. That will give you that sense of like, man, that person really crashed hard, or oh, it was just a small bump.
Hi, my name is Chris Lurch. I'm one of the vehicle dynamicists here at iRacing. Our role in the collision project is to tune the collision properties of each and every car to ensure that they behave in wrecks as a real car would. And we've spent quite a bit of time going through literature from the automotive industry on the subject to make sure that we have panels that deform the way they're supposed to, both temporarily and permanently, that pieces that don't deform but rather just break at appropriate times in appropriate ways. The cars are absorbing energy the way they should and aren't sort of bouncing off the walls in crazy ways. The major properties that we look at are stiffnesses, which is
We're back for the second race of the day here in the BSRTC, the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship at Road America. First reverse grid of the day, it's a full -3, and we're getting set for race 2 in just about 30 seconds time. As I'm back here with Andrew Woodhouse, great to have you with us, and we've got a Woodhouse starting in 7th place as well. Woody, what's the top 10 looking like as we've got a few seconds to go?
All right, it's Ronald Moons on pole, then it's Rob Graham, Colin Cunniff, highest place Showdown contender, then Miguel Freitas, Anwar Smith, Michael Blake, Mark Woodhouse, Craig Williams, Paul Smith, and Magic Sakovic.
Thank you very much. Just got about enough time. Get ready to go then. We've got AM drivers starting 1st, 2nd, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Only 3 pro drivers starting in the top 10. This could be interesting. Away we go. Front-wheel drive wheels start spinning straight away, and here comes Miguel Freitas. Good start from him. It's been a terrible start from everybody else behind. You can see it's really congested, I should say, at about 6th place. This could have, into the first corner we go then.
Oh, here comes
Cunniff. Yeah.
Cunniff seizing the chance, seizing the lead from Ronald Moons.
Great move up the inside, like a rat up a drain pipe.
He has to do this though, Adam. He has to do this, Colin Cunniff. Terrible race for him in the first one. Starting 40th, and then 34th is where he finished. So he needs to make a break for it. He needs to turn this into victory because he's already way behind in the Showdown.
Yeah, unfortunately the points didn't get updated at the end of the first race, but it's everybody snaking about under braking. Mark Woodhouse is in the mix there as well as we go through into one of the slowest parts of the circuit. And everybody's doing a fantastic job of getting through the crashing.
They're 3 or 4 wide in the background as well. And they're still not managing to crash through that section. Amazing driving. Oh, there is a crash. It's one of the NLR cars that's slightly round.
Probably Dan Brown.
I think it's Dan Brown, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 10 positions lost already. Gave it away for him. You can see Paul Smith.
I don't think he's crashed completely, Brown, but I think he's... yeah, he just got turned onto the grass, and obviously that slowed him down quite a lot.
You can see as well from the lap counter, we're now on laps rather than time.
Oh, Sakovic.
Yeah,
has he got a slow down, mate?
I think he might have just been out on the marbles. You could see from the racing line compared to the outside line how lack of grip there was.
Oh, there's more. There's a lack of grip there for the ultimate knock hill.
Steve is in a bit of a tricky spot here, isn't he? He's got cars all over him.
He's up the inside of Scott Malcolm. Malcolm going round the outside. Took his first win recently, Scott Malcolm, of course. Oh, and Paul Smith's been hit by Martin Front. And on the outside is McIntyre.
Yeah, this is pretty wild here, going through the final corner. There's an Apex car in there as well for good measure. That's Brian Holmes.
Oh, that's Kip Stevens.
Into the wall. He just taps it, really. Careful with the rejoin. And
he's all right.
Gone by. That looks like it's done more damage.
It's broken right rear suspension. I think going to have to get it in the pits if he can, Kip. But that's going to be the end of his race. It says Dave Baker's crashed. Is that true?
Baker is sat in 28th place. He's gained 4 positions since the start, though, so I don't think if he has, then it hasn't really done much.
He may have had to slow down for the Stevens incident.
Correct, yeah. I wonder if he might have been one of the cars involved with potentially Kip Stevens there. At the end of the opening lap, then it's Colin Cunniff that leads, then Miguel Freitas, then it's Williams, then Moons, Woodhouse, Brow Smith, then Blake, then Graham, then Martin Front, and Jack McIntyre as this battle for 9th, or battle for 6th, as it says on the graphic, continues.
Of course, Adam, you know, we need to state Kip Stevens is a Showdown contender, he's a championship contender.
Indeed,
So,
yeah, and
that's not good for him.
no, it isn't, and there's no fast repairs in this series either, so that damage, it could take a bit of time to repair. The good news is, though, that it is a very long lap, so he's got ample amount of time to get it repaired, but it's going to be a tough race for him if he's going to get any point.
There's a few... Oh, there goes Ronald Moons into the gravel. The AM category's hotting up nicely as well, with Michael Blake looking good, Mark Woodhouse up there, and yeah, I mean, those two in particular looking good for some great points. Chris Wood as well up in 9th position. Chris Wood's won races in the World GT Championship, Adam, so absolutely no slouch out there.
Yeah, in the Audi, and he's also done well in the Beamer this year. Might have even been in the Merc too, but look at this battle then. This is the Automech Not Kill car, Rob Graham.
I think it was the Beamer. I think it was the
Yeah,
Beamer, actually. And all around the outside goes McIntyre. Is he going to... Can he keep it?
No.
Oh, my word, look at that.
Well, the camera...
Right underneath the Youth Energy car there. You can almost smell the caffeine.
Camera doing a full-on examination of the underbelly of that Kia Optima going through
There you
front
go.
of the valley.
Almost giving it an endoscopy there.
Oh, all these medical...
Colonoscopy, or what's it? That side of the car anyway. Here comes McIntyre. And yeah, well, how do we follow that? I'm not sure. McIntyre versus Graham down the main straight, and it looks like the Youth Energy car's going to get it done into turn 1. I'm sorry, I've lost it.
We'll discharge that conversation.
Ah!
There we go. I'm sorry. It's lap 3 of 9. We've already completed a third of the race. And where's that time gone? As Rob Graham tries to keep up with Jack McIntyre. You can see we've got 2 Team Mad cars here, and they're competing for the team for the Pro-Am Teams Championship, and that is looking pretty good as well, considering they've got Mark Woodhouse in 4th too, and Miguel Freitas in 2nd. This is going to give them quite a lot of points if they can stay there for the duration of this race. As up the inside goes one of the Team Mad cars. That's going to be Chris Wood, and he's got it done. And under Paul Smith could follow him through as well. There's a Simulta car, and there's all sorts of stuff kicking off in the background.
Yeah, I think we'll leave that. I think there'll be too much of that for us to talk about. Wood versus Graham is enough at the minute. And Smith having a look. Team Mad car. These two were very, very close together indeed.
So easy to get a quarter panel through that right-hander there. And now here comes the Simulta car. This is Hadfield. First full season for him in the BSRTC, from what I can recollect anyway. Smith could get boxed in here, especially going through the kink. You don't want to be on the outside there because A, there's no grip, and B, there's no runoff area. So this could be interesting. Oh my word! Well, it's still not over.
Oh, someone's on the grass. Who's that?
I could see. That's one of the CQR cars. It's Pete Harrod, I think. Yes, it is. And somehow he survived that, and I'm amazed that he didn't pick up a slowdown either. That's not the most conventional corner cut, I must say. But he's gained 10 positions, Pete Harris, and he's now remaining in 12th, and he could be up another one because he's got Martin Front in front. There's also a bit of damage to the rear of the car.
Yeah, so I mean, we've seen some really, really clean racing so far, and very, very tightly packed drivers. Here comes Harrod, and front's rear wing damage, so he may be losing some straight line speed. Going up the inside then, Pete Harrod for CQR Club. Yes, and he's made it. It's a good move there by Pete Harrod. I mean, front's still there on the outside. It's going to be very difficult indeed to maintain that. Has he actually managed to? No, he hasn't. Harrod slides in front and takes the position, 11th place.
Look at that in the background. It's pretty much 2 by 2 in the background of that shot. Here we are.
I mean, if this lot have a crash, we're going to know about it.
I think so. And Harrod having to get out of the gas there. Oh, and he's going for it up the inside.
I can hear something else as well on the outside. I wonder if somebody was going through the. I wonder if somebody else was hitting something or going on the grass or whatever, because I could hear it. Now into the tight left-hander. Rob Graham still grimly hanging on to his 10th position.
Alex Simpson's involved in this. You can see the Apex car. He's going to close up on them. He's going to get on the inside of Hadfield. Yeah, he's...
Oh my goodness me, Hadfield. He's trying to... The thing is, Adam Hadfield, my teammate actually this season, he's trying to get through on the guys in front of him as well, so...
Well, Alex was arriving for the party, and then Adam Hadfield, the bouncer, pretty much threw him out straight away. He's now trying to in through the back door. You're
not on the list, so you're not coming in. Or he's worn his trainers or something. Oh, off goes Smith, and off goes Hadfield. Hadfield majorly off onto the grass, but I mean, it's arrested his momentum slightly, and I think Simpson's gone through. And Rob Graham still maintains it. Martin front, Pete Newman are in there as well. Some dives going on in Canada corner. I think a bit of argy-bargy between Newman and McFarlane. I think actually that's allowed Sakovic to go through on the Scotsman.
Alex Simpson's determined. I wouldn't be doing any of this if there was a championship on the line.
Good
What's happened?
Grief. No, it was so close between a quarter panel between front and Hadfield.
In the final corner, Alex Simpson's surely going to go. Well, I very nearly crashed there. I was looking at the Apex car and just saw that coming into shot. It's Alex Simpson, though, that's through into 11. 17 positions gained. Ash Sutton's not too far away from getting involved in this. He's gained 22 places already as well. He's up to 14.
Without trying to curse anything, right, Adam, as I often do. Oh my goodness, they got Sakovic. Well, the magic sandwich has just disappeared into the gravel.
Back on again.
I was going to say, without wanting to curse this lot, as like I say, one incident between this lot could be massive. Something tells me that if this was a year or two ago, we'd have seen about 20 of these guys crash already. They seem to have done a fantastic job, so far at least, keeping clean. He says, touch wood.
Oh, well, that's
actually good avoidance.
Yeah, that's the Danica Patrick line, I think, going through there from one of the NASCAR Nationwide Series races.
I thought the Danica Patrick line was running over a shoe.
Oh, that was at Montreal.
Wait, what? I think she ran over a shoe and then probably got run over by Jacques Villeneuve at the same time, I imagine.
Pretty much, yeah. I think
he was hitting everything, that boy.
Yeah. On the inside goes...
That was a great race, by the way, I will say. I absolutely loved those races when they went to Jacques Villeneuve and when they went here in the NASCAR. But we digress on that one. Oh, by the way, congratulations to a former BSRTC driver as well, Ray Alfalla, who picked up his 4th NASCAR iRacing Peak Antifreeze Championship.
Yeah, he's had to change the number on the side of the car now to 4-time rather than 3-time. Yeah, he's definitely backing them up as we go through the kink. Here comes the Northern Racing Stereo Haggis up front. Yeah, this could.
It's so. This straight here, Adam, is so difficult because you saw then that he was trying to go to one side, but then the racing line dictates that the car in front can then move across.
That camera angle.
It reminds me of the Valencia straight, you know, the street circuit where it's not really a straight at all.
Yeah, and from that camera angle that we had at the end of the straight, you can see how narrow it is too, as Graham's definitely got no grip out there, and that's going to allow quite a few people through. Yeah. Sorry
to interrupt. I think we need to look at the front. Miguel Freitas is only 0.2 of a second behind Colin Cunniff. And these two are massively clear.
Right then, Miguel Freitas, he is not in the showdown. Checking that. He is, but his team are in the Pro-Am showdown. So this is some good points on the line. Meanwhile, Colin Cunniff, he's in the Pro showdown and wants to get a win on the board so that he can make amends for the disaster of the ill fortune of race 1. For now,
I can tell you where Miguel Freitas is in the championship. He's 79th.
Wow.
So he's not done that many races. He's 79th. He is above me. Having said that,
am I even on them?
That wouldn't be hard after that shenanigans of Detroit.
No, I'm not even on this. There you go. Probably for the best. Going through the left-hander.
It's a bit harsh, isn't it? As Dave Baker and Michael Hall swapping positions, 20th, 21st. We can see there, but yeah, Freitas really pressuring Colin. This is important for Colin that he keeps this victory because, of course, I assume if there is a tiebreaker on points, it'll go down to wins at the end of the season. So it's always good to get those wins in.
I think we can all say that you, me, and Alex Simpson can all say we've won an officially BSR sanctioned race. That's one thing I'll cling on to, I think.
And Alex has now won more races than we have.
Yes.
So I mean, you know, I can't lord it over him anymore, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Here comes.
Oh, wide for McIntyre. McIntyre went wide through Canada corner. He was right on the Taylor Smith, and I think there's some contact.
There was. Yeah.
Michael Blake wide. Oh, and he's spinning, and he's crashing. Michael Blake out of the top 10.
Oh, what are you doing?
Out of a AM championship, a good AM championship position. Oh dear, and it's all gone to hell in a handbasket for him.
Yeah, he's sat in a bit of.
Oh no! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it! Oh, Jesus. That's my team principle there. As you can see, the inner workings of the Kia Optima now.
With our new update, yeah. Right, here comes Alex Simpson. He's cracked the top 10. He's just got past Paul Smith.
Oh.
And it's the Apex colleague, but Smith's not giving up. He's got a stream as well going, but watch our one.
Go and watch his stream as well if you can.
Onto the
get good perspective. It's almost like if you watch both at once, you can get almost a picture-in-picture.
There you go. It's something that we are aiming for.
And maybe some rather coarse language over on the Team Mad server. You never know. If you're into that kind of thing.
It is past 9 o'clock. Oh!
Some F's and C's over there. And C's is Sutton inside into 10th place.
Yeah, that was a pass up the inside going into turn 5. And also through is the Northern Ice Racing car. That's going to be Ross McFarlane through into 11th. So 12 positions gained for Ross, 26 gained for Ash, and 19 gained for Alex. As we're on the 7th lap of 9, when we get to the line, we're going to be starting the penultimate lap of the race in. I wonder if some of these guys sent some more positions.
There might have been some four-letter words coming out of Paul Smith's mouth there as two guys absolutely flew past him. What's the lead? Cunnif's got it up to half a second, and I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it means that he's kind of out of danger for the moment. Going to have 2 laps to go, Adam, at the end of this one, and I mean, if, like I say, Miguel Freitas is so far down in the championship. If Freitas has a go, what does Cunnif do? Because at the minute, he's miles ahead of anybody else, really. I mean, it's Harrods 8th, Simpson 9th, Sutton 10th, McFarlane 11th. They're the guys who he's fighting in the championship.
This track is,
what does he do? Does he stick in second place? Because he's certainly going to finish second if Freitas passes him. There's almost no doubt about it. They're about 3 seconds clear of Craig Williams, 2 seconds clear of Craig Williams. So, does he fight Freitas hard if he gets there?
Yeah, if I know anything about the BSRTC, and I think after 4 years we can probably say we do, then I think Freitas will go for it, personally. And it looks like he is as well. He's already halved the gap in the space of 2 corners. The slipstream will do that. This is his best opportunity now. He's got 0.2 of a second, and that surely will get closed right up to nothing by the time we get to the end of this straight. The Portuguese is going to try and take something off the Scotsman here.
Yeah, here he comes then. Oh, here he goes. He's now alongside Cunnif. Is he going to go through Freitas? He's very late on the brakes. He's not going to make it, is he, surely? Oh, well, he kind of made it. But Cunnif's going to have the inside for the left-hander, Adam, and I feel... Oh, he's a bit gentlemanly on the entry, but gets a great exit, does Cunnif. He's going to be on the outside for the right-hander.
Oh, there's no grip out there. But he's got the speed on the outside, and that's going to become the inside, crucially, for the next part.
I've got to say, they're giving each other a lot of space here, which is good.
Oh, wow.
I think Freitas knows that Cunnif's fighting for the championship. Cunnif knows that Freitas has got nothing to lose, and in this case, they're giving each other the respect. But look at Craig Williams now. He's got it down to under a second. It was 2 seconds at the line.
Yeah, they're giving battle. Yeah, they're giving each other too much space, really, and I think Cunnif was very... And there we go, finally, Miguel Freitas is clear, because going through that carousel, you really cannot go too wide through there. But now he's got the slipstream, and now he's got the run on the exit of the kink, so he can launch the counter-attack going into Canada corner here. Freitas defending as if his life depended on it.
As if it was Jose Mourinho at home.
Yes. I wonder if he's saying anything into a camera at the end of the race. Brief. Well,
Blue race win as Cunningham then trying to go through. How many have you got? None.
Respect. As he comes to the
Here
final
comes
corner.
Williams.
This is a track that's known for producing an unknown race winner. Remember Stefano Giuriali back in one of our first seasons of covering this? That was a bit of a turn up for the books, and this one is.
Never
too.
saw him again.
Yeah, we never. I'm sure Miguel Freitas won't do any vanishing acts, but right now, Colin Cunningham wishes he did, because he's stopping him from getting the race victory here as we've got 1 lap to go. Personal best from Craig Williams.
Was it Ralph Richardson in disguise? You never quite know, do you? So here comes Miguel Freitas on the inside. Final lap, white flag was in the air as they came across Williams. Oh!
Well, that didn't go as bad as it could have gone. I think.
Wasn't really Williams' fault at all, to be honest. I'm not even sure that Cunningham knew that he was that close.
Here we go. He's still managed to stay within 0.3 of a second. Max Wright has had to tow back or has entered the pit with a few laps to go. That's not really gone at all well for him. He's in the showdown as well for the Pro-Am Championship, but a zero pointer in race 1 and a pit stop at the end of race 2 isn't going to help matters. There are a lot of positions changing at the bottom of the top 10 there. A few off tracks showing as well, so something must have happened there. But
Savidovic has gone off, I think. He's lost a couple of places, but yeah, final lap, and this is anybody's. If the front two come together, we could see Williams getting to the front.
3 different teams. Yeah.
Just quickly to read down the rest of the top 10 before we get to the business end of it. Anwar Smith in 4th, McIntyre 5th, Woodhouse 6th, Harrod 7th, Sutton 8th, McFarlane 9th, Simpson in 10th. Here we go! Oh, he's going to have to make a move across his Freitas, and touch and go as to whether that was a little Kevin Magnussen there, but you get the benefit of the doubt. There was no contact.
Well, this is kind of the corner then. Potentially one of the last spots on the track to get a move done, and if Freitas makes a corner, I'll be very surprised. Yeah, he's going to miss it.
Here comes Cunningham into the lead. Look at Craig Williams as well. Is he going to have a go through the final corner? I think it's going to be Cunningham. Oh, he's very slow into the final corner, is Cunningham. The drag up the hill, Adam, is where we're going to see it.
Here we go. I think he's just got about enough in hand. 0.3 of a second is what's going to settle it. Freitas coming, but there's just not enough road. Colin Cunningham takes the 2nd race of the day in the BSRTC in a breathless final lap. Wow, what a result for him. And
Jack McIntyre's crashed at him on the final lap.
Oh. And Will Smith too. He's disappeared as well. Oh dear. Well, the Youth Energy car. Ash Sutton's coming to the pits. Oh, he's towed back to the pits straight after the flag. So no wasting time there for Ash Sutton. He gained 30 places in the end. He even got past Alex Simpson. Drag race to the line there in the battle for 24th. It was Baker by 96,000.
Baker had a rubbish lap as well on that final one, 2:19. So he's dropped down. He lost 5 or 6 places, I think, Baker. We're going to see the replay. What happened to McIntyre? He was with his teammate. Oh, I hope not.
Oh,
it is. Oh, and he takes him. Oh dear, and he takes him out for good measure. Look out, everybody else.
No, it didn't look intentional.
That's annoying, though.
Why
it's annoying for Youth Energy, isn't it? Golden rule, isn't it, Adam, though?
Don't hit your teammate. I think it covers about 3 or 4 of them, really. And I would maybe even say it's a platinum rule, but yeah, that is.
I will say though, they're not in the running for any of the showdowns, so I guess it doesn't matter much on the face of it, because neither McIntyre or Smith are actually in the running either for the Drivers' Championship.
Every cloud, as they say, it does mean though that they are in a potential contention reverse grid for the final race day. So we could be on for something there. One thing I did notice though, that it does say on the live timing that McIntyre drives for Scuderia Haggis. So I don't know if our paint's telling us one thing, but yeah, either way, the race is finished, and well done to Colin Cunningham. He managed to capitalise in Canada corner when Freitas went too deep on the inside, and he's taken what could be, in terms of his season, a crucial victory, as the results are now going to be shown on the screen. So, Woody, take it away. Who finished where in that 2nd race?
Well, it was Colin Cunningham who took the win. We said he had to do it, and that's a great boost for his championship. coming in as a wild card, though. In fact, very quickly, Adam, coming in as a wild card, you don't expect really to be fighting for the title. But what Colin Cunniff's done is he's meant that he's evened out that bad first race, hasn't he?
So I turned it on. Yeah, he definitely has. And,
Sorry.
no, that's okay. Even though he picked up those points in race 1, a win in race 2 will have definitely helped him, and we'll now see what he can get in that third race, because a race win in the BSRTC in just one of the 3, that can probably really accomplish what you want for the evening. So he can go out in the third race now, not totally desperate for points, but get as many as he can potentially get on the board. We'll see what he can do.
That's his 4th win of the season as well. So you were right when you were saying 3. How many have I won? 3. How many of you won? None. It was exactly right. Colin Cunniff takes the win over Miguel Freitas. Craig Williams, tremendous drive from the Vortex man in 3rd. 4th for Mark Woodhouse. 5th was Pete Harrod. He gained 17 positions from where he started. Ashley Stutton gained 30. Ross McFarlane plus 16. Alex Simpson plus 20. Those guys were rocketing through the field. Chris Wood in 9th. Adam Hadfield 10th. Jack Sedgwick 11th. He gained 22 spots as well. Paul Smith 12th. Adam McNally 13th. Martin Front 14th. Then it was Wojciech Svidovic plus 19. Pete Newman finished behind Svidovic in 16th. Sven Glatzel 17th, plus 18 for him. Michael Hall 18th, Josh Simmons 19th, 20th for Magic Sakovic, and then a couple of other big movers as well. Jamie Rushworth up 11, Mark Johnson up 18, Rusty Layla 23rd, Dave Baker 24th, Jake Blackhall 25th, 26th Brian Holmes, Lee Deemer up 11th to 27th, 28th for Scott Malcolm 29th, Ronald Moons, Jack McIntyre 30th, Michael Blake 31st, Christian Rose 32nd. Then it was Dan Brown in 33rd. We saw him off quite early on in that race. Morgan Butler 34th for CQR Academy. Stephen Baxter in 35th. Anwar Smith a lap down in 36th place after crashing on the final lap with his teammate. Max Wright won't get any points for that one. He retired with 2 laps to go. William Daniels, Robert Graham, Nicole Foggy and Kip Stevens were the unlucky ones to join him out of the race, Adam. And Stevens especially, well, Stevens and Foggy, that's not great for them at all.
Yeah, not the best race meeting really for Kip Stevens. He could have done with a track like Okayama maybe to help him. He managed to get a win there.
And now he won't get the benefit of the reverse grid at all.
No, that damage. It's those concrete walls. They really end the race and pretty much ruin the chassis as well. So, yeah, he's going to be starting.
Small hit, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it's just, the concrete wall just exasperates things, really. You need to do what Alex Simpson did in that opening race and aim for a tyre barrier, because they don't seem to do that much damage.
It's true.
Right then.
Look what happened to me at Belle Isle.
Yeah.
I hit the concrete wall, and I'd hit the tyres on the previous lap. Barely did anything to the car. Hit the concrete wall. Bang! It was destroyed.
And we have got some updated points, actually. They have just been updated now. We can run you through these quickly before we get onto the reverse grid for the final race of the day. Svidovic still leads, no surprises there, because he's had 2 pretty strong finishes, really, if you consider the reverse grid. Nicole Foggy's 35 points behind him in 2nd, then Jack Sedgwick 3rd. 2 points behind him is Dave Baker.
That was after the first race, though, I will say that. That was only after one of tonight's races.
Right. I see. So Sutton's win in race 1 has elevated him to joint 5th along with Jamie Rush. And then it's Alex Simpson and Sven Glatzel joint 7th. So things are definitely close. And I wonder if they could get closer when we have this final reverse grid, which we are now going to hand over to Sam Kumo to spin the wheel for.
Yep, let's get the wheel on the screen and see what we get for the final race. That full -3 really spiced up the action in that second race, so I'm kind of hoping for seeing kind of reverse for this one, and we might get it. It is full -3.
Oh, again.
It's exactly I'm hoping for the same one, and it is exactly the same one. So it will be, I think it'll be Daniel Brown. That's right, isn't it? I don't know, I think.
You would be right, yes, with Christian Rose 2nd, Michael Blake 3rd, Jack McIntyre 4th, so that crash kind of works for him really there. And Ronald Moons is going to be back inside the top 5 again after getting the reverse grid pole for race 2. So he has a second crack at it for the Immortal team, and a few other drivers in and around the top 10 there. The likes of David Baker, he could fancy an opportunity to get a podium finish in the final race. So as always in the BSRTC, it is all to play for, and we've got a final race in which to play it in. So join us after the break here on Apex Racing TV for the final race of the day in the opening race meeting of the Showdown for the BSRTC.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And Michael Tucker will be free to put down his foot whenever he feels like it. And we can now see them roaring through the final corner. And here we go. Race 1 of the evening is underway. Michael Tucker hasn't got an awesome start. And Jamie Ayres, if he wants to win this race, he's got to put some pressure on him going into turn 1. Tucker, though, covers the inside. And Ayres struggles to mount an attack. Maybe into turn 2, he can have a chance. But just running a little bit wide as Jamie Ayres. And all of a sudden, he's just dropped back a tenth or so. He's still looking to the inside, but he cannot make the move.
Always a good pace. He's improving quite significantly in the last few rounds we've seen him in, and it's good to see him on P3. And Robinson is in the gravel there. Not so right, he's keeping it close. Oh, Clark is taken in the fence. Bad crash there.
Teddy Clark.
Yeah, also Underhill, I think, went into the gravel. Let's see, it might be 2 separate crashes. Got it on the back end of the camera shot, yeah. Oh no! Oh, that's what happened there. You know, beginning of the race I thought that Kallinan had pace to attack. Oh, no. Spin for Jacobson there.
Michael Tucker, though, is coming around the final few corners right now, and he is going to a pace car just coming around the final corner. Robinson can go when he chooses. It's Robinson from the pole position. Malcolm in second. Boy, does this matter in the AM Championship, and the overall championship is not decided at all as well. as Robinson pulls away. Brilliant start as well for Max Wright. He's already on the inside of Scott Malcolm, so that should be a simple move up in second place, but Malcolm thinks otherwise. He's going to hang it round the outside into turn 1 and going into Druids. The second and third place drivers are side by side. Max Wright trying to go down the inside, but Malcolm has done brilliantly to fend off him, although he is still a little bit wide. Josh Thompson has had a bit of a spin in the background, but still Malcolm is having to defend. It's Jamie Ayres running in 4th position, gaining a position on Rafe Cannon, with Michael Abdoka so far unable to make a move. But here comes Jamie Ayres, and he's going to have a move on Max Wright. So Max Wright, Marco, challenging for 2nd position, and look at this, he may drop down even into 6th position now.
Yeah, and we have a huge mid-pack with 4 cars, Ayres, Wright, Cullinan, Evdoka, all coming for the same piece of real estate, and Cullinan saves the car. Cullinan is trying to close the gap. Let's see the replay of the move here. Very brave.
Nice move.
Wow, that was very brave from Jamie Ayres.
Quite sure what his pace is like, but his racecraft is so strong, he may stand a chance. Michael Abdoka is down the inside of Max Wright, and if he can just push out right here, he can't really do so because he took he wasn't comfortable with that line, but he has now pulled ahead, and I doubt Wright is going to be able to fight back into this next corner. Not much of a big thing, and Abdoka moves up into the top 4.
Scott Malcolm will defend hard but fair as usual. Now on the inside, Abdoka, good run in the first corner, side by side. Man, they are extremely close. There's nothing in it. Abdoka will have the inside on Druids. Let's see. Can he complete the pass? He can. Nice move by Michael Abdoka there.
Abdoka can go chase down the top 2. You can see Josh Thompson just behind these 2 drivers, and actually Jamie Ayres has taken the lead of Colin Robinson. So I saw the gap was close. Here comes Max Wright though, round the outside of Scott Malcolm. This would be an awesome move, but he is off the circuit, and he's going to lose a position to Josh Thompson. It could have been a whole lot worse than that. So he lost the position to Rafe Cullinan there.
Here comes the replay, going into Druids. Mistake from Robinson, I think. We went a bit wide. Ayres didn't need a second invitation and made the move quite easily.
And Malcolm, he's really been faultless so far today, and as we see Abdoka already make the move on Colin Robinson. It is ever so close between Colin and Malcolm, and this final corner is where Malcolm particularly struggles, at least what I've seen, and he's trying to go for the move is Rafe Kana. They're both wide, and the driver who's going to profit from this is of course Josh Thompson. He's already made one move on Rafe Kana. Max Wright trying to get involved, and he's going to go to the inside. It's 3 wide going into turn 1 here at Brands Hatch. This is fantastic racing, and Josh Thompson has made that move. Max Wright was smart just to back out, and he is going to try to come back though. It's Rafe Kana trying to get the cut back, but Max Wright profiting from this, and there's contact amongst all 3 of them. Wright still going for the move, but eventually Thompson makes the mistake, and Cullinan only loses the 1 position.
And now we see the replay of what happened here with Scott Malcolm. So Cullinan went through at Druids, then right. Ooh, he lost the car, didn't hit the barriers, so he is okay, but of course position lost there to Max Wright for Scott Malcolm.
He's going to probably have to look for an alternative overtaking spot. Michael Abdoka, maybe a bit of a surprise take into this one, but again, Ayres is very deep on the brakes. It does take us a slightly wide line. That might be a chance for Abdoka, but down here, as long as you just cover the inside line, there's not a whole lot the other driver can do. But Abdoka is going to go for the inside line here, and Ayres has not covered it off, and this could cost him the race lead here. Jamie Ayres round the outside of Michael Abdoka. Abdoka has got the inside for the next one, and he failed to cover off the opportunity for Abdoka, and Abdoka is round, and he's going to be in the wall, and the championship leader is in all kinds of trouble now.
Ayres is waiting for him, but the damage is done, I think, because Abdoka's car is completely smashed on the front right. Let's see the replay. That was a hard hit for Abdoka. I think he will have to stop for repairs.
So just a really poor lap, seemingly, this from from Rafe Collins, and it has allowed Max Wright to close right up onto the back of him, and down the inside will go the Mercedes. We've seen the outside line from Scott Malcolm working several times today, and it's worked brilliantly for Rafe Cullinan this time, but he has not got this move covered. Still down the inside is Max Wright, but hanging around the outside is the BMW driver, and he's going to have the inside for Graham Hill Bend. Still side by side those between these two drivers, and actually a much better exit for Max Wright. And this time there's no response from Rafe Cullinan. Max Wright moves up into 4th position. Now only one more corner for Michael Abducker to tackle. He's already got one triple this season at Phillip Island, and it looks as though he's building up to one today as well. He's a little bit wide though, and Jamie Ayres might stand a chance here as they race to the line. The Team Mercedes, who is going to win this one? It's Jamie Ayres.
Jamie Ayres is the winner.
I cannot believe it. Just as I was speaking up to Michael Abducker, perhaps lining up another triple today, it is Jamie Ayres who has stolen the race victory by just half a tenth of a second. He will start on pole position for race 3. Jamie Ayres leading the cars around, again dropping back as we've seen a lot of today, and he will now put his foot down, and Michael Abducker in 2nd position consolidates that 2nd position. And can he mount an attack on Jamie Ayres going into turn 1? It doesn't seem like he is going to be able to, although he is into the slipstream. Ayres has got to be watching his mirrors down into turn 1 and down into Druids as well. As a little bit deeper on the brakes. Abducker, nice run through turn 1, and he might stand a chance for 2. Ayres has got to go defensive here, but he's very late to defend, and Abducker nearly had a chance down the inside.
Abducker was on the timing screen. Oh, look at that! Oh!
He seemed to have decent pace, and I think he would have kind of got quicker and quicker as the race went on. Michael Abducker is down the inside in turn 2 against Jamie Ayres, but Ayres has got the ideal line down into Graham Hill Bend, and he's held on to that P1 position but he has not fended off the inside line. Once again, he's trying to almost squeeze Abducker on the inside, but Abducker will go around the outside, and he might even try to push out his opponent. They are side by side now, heading into the next quick right-hander, and they are side by side down the bridge as well. It's fantastic battling between these two, and Abducker is round the outside, and he's surely going to make this move stick. Yes, he is. Jamie Ayres with no answer to that overtake from Michael Abducker. He just carried the speed round the outside, and he has taken the lead, Marco.
What happened to Anthony Jacobson? Oh, thanks Lapper. Oh, bad crash.
And he just carried a little bit too much speed. No, he clipped the grass on the entry, and that was how he lost the car there. He will not want to finish last of the runners, and I must say right now it doesn't look like he will do.
Yeah, I'm a bit concerned because Malcolm and Andri had extremely short stops compared to the other drivers, so as Dimmer gets by, so we'll have to keep an eye on their fuel numbers.
Underhill doesn't have to rush this one because it's only a matter of time until he makes the move.
Wow, okay. Another short fueling car, and Malcolm just gave up on the battle.
It's not going to be the triple today. He's got it once before already in the season at Phillip Island, and after a mistake at the end of race 2, it's not going to be the triple, but it is going to be a double for Michael Abducker. He rounds the final corner here at Brands Hatch and steps that one step closer to the overall title. Michael Abducker wins race 3 here at Brands Hatch. From me, from Marco, and from Sam, we'll see you next time, and we'll say goodbye for now.
We're back and we're getting set for the final race of the day here in the BSRTC. Where's the time gone? Next week we go to the Glen, and then after that we go to Interlagos in Brazil, and then Monza, no first chicane, and then we end the season at Daytona under the lights to decide another champion. Here's the grid then. Andrew Woodhouse joining me in the commentary box. What's it looking like then with just a few seconds to go?
Well, it looks like this. It looks like Dan Brown on pole position with Christian Rose second, then Michael Blake, then McIntyre, Moons, Malcolm, Deemer, Holmes, Blackhall and Baker. That's your top 10.
We've got a little bit of time. Who's your money on?
I can't see the clock. Oh, there it is. The money is on Christian Rose.
My money's on Jack McIntyre. Here we go. Underway. Great start on the inside of the second row, but a fantastic start by Jack McIntyre. He's going to get past all of them pretty much if he can find the space. It's going to be a narrow front straight though, and here we go into the first corner. They're somewhere in the distance. Here they go. They all emerge. And McIntyre's going to try and get second round the outside here. This could work.
Oh, that's brave. Oh, that's beautiful from McIntyre. I was just about to say, of course I predict Christian Rose to win, and then he goes and gets quite a poor start, which allows McIntyre to get through. Your pick, of course, getting up into second place. Wojciech Svidovic was dropping down the order. I think Adam McNally might be as well, but it's only minor losses, I think it looks like. As look at this. Oh, big crash! Laidler into the wall. He keeps it off the racing surface, and that is key. That's vital for the well-being of most of the competitors, I think. Oh, there's a crash at the slow corner. It's Lee Deemer.
Now, how crucial could it be for Laidler's Pro-Am Championship? He hit the concrete wall quite hard. That's going to be a 0 surely here, and there's an Automech not kill car all over the place.
Yeah, he's retired to the pits as Laidler, Adam, and that's it. That's that over with for him today. He's put a good showing in though in the first couple of rounds.
Put him in good
stead. But he only had a 6-point lead over Adam McNally before this race. McNally lies 20th, so he will take that lead. It looks like who's there? Hadfield, Wood, Brown. I mean, Brown obviously leading. Brown was only 36 points behind Laidler, only 30 behind McNally, so he's got a good chance of leaving here with the lead overall.
Here's Jamie Rushworth versus Jack Sedgwick versus George Simmons. Everybody involved here, they all want a piece of the action in the early going. Up the inside goes car 3. Simmons up the inside into Canada corner. He's trying to get past the Season 4 champion in Jamie Rushworth. But the CQR driver, who's very experienced in this car, is still holding on. And here's Sven Glatzel and here's Wojciech as well.
Race 1 replay, Glatzel versus Sutton versus Svidovic.
Sutton's gained 13 places. It never ceases to amaze, really, does it, going out of the final corner?
I once competed in a race here in this championship again in Barber Motorsports Park, and I decided it was reverse grid. I decided I was just going to follow Ash Sutton through the field. I gained about 15 places on the first lap. McIntyre
takes the lead then as we complete the opening lap of the race. That didn't take long. He started 4th, and now he's in the lead.
Paul Smith's crashed, I think. He's dropped way down the order. He's lost 5, 6, 7, 8 places, I think. But Jack McIntyre for Youth Energy, well, he's in a much better position than he ended the previous round at.
Yeah, it's blessing in disguise, really, I think I'd say there. But it's not over. Dan Brown looking up the inside, going into turn 5, and in the background, it looks like a move could be about to happen there as well, as McIntyre runs a little bit wide. This is the battle for one of the many places. Oh, there's a crash in the back. Smoke in the back.
Oh, that's a fairly big one. Oh, and it's car 4 as well. That's Hall.
Michael Hall, yeah.
And there's an NLR car facing backwards. Pete Newman's got damage. They're all sliding off at the following corner as well for Wojciech Svidovic, going through the gravel and losing places hand over fist as well. Possible. I think his suspension's damaged. Adam, I think he's struggling.
Gonna get going again. The car
maybe he's going to slow down to serve as well.
It'd be interesting to see a replay, because this has got potential ramifications in terms of the championship here.
I think it seems to be driving okay for him at the minute. Sorry.
Yeah. Svidovic and Glatzel, two of the front runners in the field at the start of the evening. getting involved in something. That's the
end of it.
And that's
still the end of it.
That's just after it started.
Here we go.
Oh,
it's somebody flying down the inside. I think it was Newman who started it then.
Yeah.
Newman starts it, and that pirouettes Glatzel. It was a big sandwich, wasn't it? Here he comes. Oh, he was completely out of control. Adam, he had no. Well, he completely missed his braking point. One of the Simauto cars was very lucky to get through there. Yeah, I'm sorry to have interrupted you a few times tonight. There's so much going on out there, I tell you.
Yeah, I think loads of drivers are interrupting each other on the track, I think.
Brian Holmes!
Yeah, Brian Holmes, man on the move. He's 4th. He's put in the fastest lap of the race at the start of lap 3, and he's now up into 4th position. He was just under a second quicker than Dan Brown in 2nd place on that last lap. So the Apex Racing car is coming here with 6 laps to go. So Savinovic is coming to the pits too. So at best, he's going to finish in. He's probably going to finish in the 30s. He's joined in the pits by Glatzel too. So not the best race for those guys.
Well, I think Brian Holmes will admit that he has had a pretty shocking season. 32nd overall coming into this race, but we see great driving from him on a regular basis on Apex Racing TV. He just hasn't been able to put it together in the Kia Optima, but he's looking, fastest lap there by some margin. It looks like the signs of it coming together. Who knows whether he's going to carry on next year or not, but I think if he does, I think we'll see a much more competitive Brian Holmes in 2019 as Ronald Moon slides off the track in the same place that he did on the in the previous race, in fact.
He did. Yeah, it wasn't as bad that time as Dan Brown.
Brown's off.
Yeah. Might have just run a little bit wide on the exit of the carousel, I'm guessing. Hasn't looked to lose him any time really going through the kink.
Yeah, he wasn't off for long, was he? You just when that red marker comes up though, you do wonder, especially in the fast part of the track. Yeah.
We've pretty much caught everything dramatic so far today. We haven't seen anybody like falling off a cliff on the timing screen yet, apart from at the very end of race 2.
I think Jack Cedric has. I think we've just seen it. I think he's gone off the end of the cliff.
Right, we're about to find out.
Canada corner. And he gets taken out by. I think that was Ronald Moons. He braked on the grass for Canada corner. Sedgwick was the unlucky recipient of quite a hard whack.
Yes,
and then going through Thunder Valley, it's all kicking off. And off goes the Vortex car. I think probably Williams it was, maybe.
Oh, and somebody else goes for a ride. That was...
and then somebody ended up in the wall.
Yeah, here's the battle for 7th and 8th place. I can remember Paul Tracy going off of that corner many years ago in a kart race, Bill Mitchell-Benz. But here's the battle
many places where Paul Tracy hasn't gone off. He was racing for so long. Here's Baker then ahead of Johnston. Mark Johnston's had a good meeting. He's 9th in the... Well, I say good meeting. He was looking good at the beginning of race 1. So he looks like he's got the speed, but he needs to convert that into a result here because he's lying. He's already, Adam, this is what you mentioned before. The points gaps weren't really... Even though you got the podium credits, they're not really sufficient to gain you a massive advantage. Johnston's already 143 points behind after just 2 rounds.
Gonna have to start closing them back up, really. It's never 2 over. We thought back in 2015. Oh, he's moving across.
Oh man, it was nearly over for him.
Oh, and it still might not be over. Look how bunched up this is. Ash Sutton's right in there, and so too is Maciek Sakovic. He's got a watching brief of the CQR cars trying to end each other's races.
What happened there was Dave Baker tried to overtake Johnston, went in far too deep with the understeer central, and almost wiped out the Simauto car. And he's going wide. I wonder if Baker looks like he's got handling issues. Speaking of issues, Mark Johnston on the grass, but it doesn't seem to have cost him too much. Wonder if Sutton's going to have a look at Baker into Canada corner, because this is the time of the season, of course. The team's championship, very important, Adam, but if these guys are going to really make a play for the Drivers' Championship, they're going to have to start making moves on each other at some point.
It's about how you play it, really, isn't it?
You can't do what McIntyre and Smith did. I mean, fortunately for them, they weren't fighting for anything in particular. Great exit by Sutton. That's a world-class exit. from the final corner, and he's got a great run, but his teammate Baker's going to have the slipstream on this immortal car down the straight.
Oh, yeah, Baker may have had the Brexit of exits, but he's might be coming back down the straight here. And up the inside into the first corner, that's immortal car's refusing to budge. I think Sutter might have to get a bit physical here. Oh, he's forcing him out onto the curb.
Oh dear.
Well, he's still...
Oh, careful, boys. There's championships to be won here. Be careful. Oh, Johnston gets pushed wide.
Slightest touch, wasn't it? The Midas
that was a hard Brexit, was that?
Yeah.
Maybe a no-deal Brexit. That's maybe what that was.
Well,
dear me, not good for anybody. Oh, dear, McIntyre! McIntyre's off the course, and Holmes is involved, and also is Brown, and Christian Rose is into the lead. I wish I'd have put a tenner on that now.
It's all of a sudden come good for you. I should have cashed out.
Oh, Brown's car is knackered. It looks like it could well just be a slowdown.
Simmons gets by, and now we've got to turn our attention to Christian Rose. Whereabouts is he sat in the championship? He's
somehow in all that, Brian Holmes has managed to keep second place.
Here's a replay then.
Yeah.
Christian Rose has won one race this season. He's been on the podium twice.
Oh, that's what happened. A very aggressive defending by Brown.
Oh, McIntyre.
McIntyre was already in front, and...
Do you reckon he was looking in the mirrors, McIntyre, and missed the breaking point?
Well, I don't know. It is difficult because he was going on that wide line, and of course he's got to try and turn in at some point. And the others are taking the normal line. I don't know. I can't really blame anybody for that by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Probably have to see it again later, but yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. Racing incident for me, but who knows?
Poor Dan Brown was the biggest loser in all of that, really. McIntyre and Holmes were able to get going again, and really they only lost places to Christian Rose. It was Brown that lost out big time. He's now down in 14th place, but this has really shaken things up then with 4 laps to go as we cross the line.
McIntyre looks like he's crabbing slightly, but it doesn't look to be affecting him too much.
He's going to try and get a position here, isn't he? Into the first corner. Brian Holmes says no way to that, and up the inside goes Jake Blackhall, the Aussie, up to 4th.
You were right in that George Simmons had a slow lap. He lost a place to Scott Malcolm, and he's now lost another one to Pete Harrod, it looks like. So down to 17th for Simmons, down to 18th for Simmons.
I don't know what's going on there.
And it'll be now down to 19th as McFarlane's gone through.
Well, here we go for the lead again. It was all closing up there. Yeah, here we go. Up to cutting to the outside goes Brian Holmes. The space.
Tries that early turn in.
Oh, this might not end well. Here comes McIntyre. He's coming out of fair rate of knots under the Corvette bridge.
Well, Holmes and Rose aren't fighting for a driver's championship, but of course, as Adam pointed out at the very beginning of the broadcast, if you missed it, everyone's fighting for the team's championship this year. There's no top 3 scorers. Everybody scores. Or doesn't score, as it happens sometimes as well.
Yeah, and CQR Academy are one of the 4 teams going for that Pro Teams title.
Oh, Holmes is having a go into the carousel. Oh. Now, how many times have we seen Brian Holmes racing here in the Riptech Sports Car Series, for instance, in the Mazda MX-5?
Yeah, this is a popular venue for that series.
He's got a lot of experience here, and it's showing in his lap times.
And he is. He's good at the North American venues. Remember Dan Hunt being like that, former BSRTC driver. 3.5 laps to go as Sakovic mows the King lawn a bit more. Up the inside, McIntyre thought of it. Oh, this is going to cause concertina surely as Christian Rose parks the car on the apex. And now McIntyre could get second place going into Bill Mitchell, Ben.
Oh, you can hear the tyres squealing. There's a lot of load through those fast corners, and McIntyre's through.
Yeah, he used the runoff area on the exit to great effect, and now he's in second place with a few laps to go. And Jake Blackhall is still coming. He's now going to try and take 3rd place away from Brian Holmes. This is a joyous race for CQR Academy. They could realistically walk away from this final race with a 1-2.
It could indeed. And it's going to be up to Rose and Blackhall to do this. It's very close between these two. Remember, netcode could be an issue between any of the British drivers really and Blackhall, but he has shown this season, Adam, after a couple of seasons in the competition, that he finally seems to have really perfected the art of racing around other people with that perceived disadvantage. Oh, and he's had to hit the brakes, McIntyre. He was insistent on trying to go to the left. Rose said no thank you, and it's closed everybody up, because behind this group, Adam, is Michael Blake, Ash Sutton, Dave Baker, Jamie Rushworth, and Magic Sakovic is right at the back of that as well. So this aggressive fighting, really what it's done is it's opened up the race for everybody else.
This is even better for the CQR team as a whole, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars inside the top 10 here, all with the CQR badges on the side, and McIntyre is going to get...
Oh, man!
Oh, they could have been hung out to dry there, but the outside line comes back into favour here, up the inside into the carousel. Here comes Blackhall, he's got Sutton coming up the inside, is his wingman. Brian Holmes is going to be hung out to dry surely here, and now it's going to be McIntyre being the odd one out. He's the only CQR car inside the top 4 that... He's the only car inside the top 4. It's not a CQR car, it's the king.
Sutton muscles his way past Brian Holmes into the kink of all places. We've got Rusty Laidler sadly out of the race, watching on the YouTube chat. Welcome to him. John Roberts is watching as well, former AM champion. And both agreeing it's an epic battle out there. We couldn't agree more. It's fantastic stuff. And now you see the top 9 drivers in with a shout with what will be 2 laps to go after they come round the right-hander to finish the lap.
Blackhall wants to go, McIntyre wants to go now because he can see who's behind him, and he's wasted no time at all.
He's gone
on the inside.
Well, McIntyre opened the line because I think he was going to try and cut back Rose. But as we know, if Ash Sutton gets a car width, my God.
And the mirror didn't fall off there. By the way, 0 points for Wojciech. So Sutton will definitely want to get a second race victory here, because this could blow the championship wide open.
We've both raced in the BSRTC, and I always marvel at it. How can these guys race so closely and cleanly together? I've absolutely no idea. Even after competing in over probably 30, 40 BSRTC races myself, I've absolutely no clue of how they're keeping this clean, keeping it on the island.
If you're watching this at home, I don't know how you're sat down. I'm stood up now, because this is very, very close indeed. 1.5 laps to go to decide this. McIntyre, he's the odd one out for sure as he gets on the brakes.
This is great stuff.
Oof, yeah.
What it's doing, Adam, as well, let's not forget, what it's doing is it's preventing Sutton from getting through when they were too wide.
Now,
somebody going off in the background, I think it might have been Sakovic.
Now this is great for McIntyre, because he's now in the lead. He's done what he needs to do, really, and now he can defend as much as he can from the CQR brigade. I've called them that before, but they're right behind him, and I wonder if Sutton might be putting in a phone call to Christian Rose to say, let me have a go at him. And there you go, that might be it.
Yeah, I think they have to do it. I think they have to do it to try and get Sutton ahead, because none of his championship contenders really are anywhere near him. Rushworth particularly, 7th. Well, that's no good with 2 laps to go. Technical issues coming in. Jack McIntyre, though, he's a very fast driver. He's just signed, I believe. Oh, no, it's not him. It's not him, it's someone else. No worries. brain trying to process all the information, not working particularly well.
Never mind, they all use the rumble strips on the exit there. Interesting design by Adrian Newey that got put forward today. Apparently he was trying to innovate some slippery curbs to deter drivers from exploiting track limits. But
that'd be fantastic.
It's another story for another day. I think Charlie Whiting may have rebuked those blueprints, but Jack McIntyre,
they need to do something. But now McIntyre needs to do something to try and repel Ash Sutton.
If this was the final lap, it would be Sutton.
It'd be an oil slick.
Yeah. Well, I think we will be oil slicks if this race gets any more heated up. Into the final corner. Last lap, Sutton to the outside and to the lead.
Does he stay on the track? He does, just about. But this is the thing now. McIntyre needs to not lose his cool. He needs to stay behind through turn 2, get a good exit, and slipstream the CQR car all the way down to the bottom of the hill. And he has done. He's made a great exit there. He's less than 2 tenths. And he's gaining all the time with the draft.
It's amazing to see a car that's not a CQR branded car being quicker than one in a straight line.
What's McIntyre going to do? I think he has to try it, mate. This is his best chance to get back through.
Oof.
Trying to prevent a double. Trying to prevent the double from Sutton. Might even contemplate the bump and run here, I wonder.
Yeah, he's going to have to get innovative now. I think if McIntyre wants to get by, it might be a move into Canada corner. That's where we saw the race two of the day getting decided.
Of Sutton defending. Oh, he sort of thought about defending the left-hand side, didn't he? He ended up floating around in the middle of the track. Did Sutton, but this is the part of the race where in race 1 on the final lap, Sutton just pulled ahead, didn't he? Just enough car length that he wasn't in danger into Canada corner. And I think he's, well, it's only 3.5 tenths. He's got to have a good kink here. Stay in front. Oh, that wasn't the best. But neither it was for McIntyre.
Yeah, the gap went up to 4 tenths. If anything, it could be second place under threat from McIntyre unless he has the mother of all dive bombs into Canada corner, which he doesn't. But he does get a very good run through there, though. He's managed to close the gap maybe just a fraction. But I think Sutton might just have this under control unless he makes a mistake going through the final 2 corners.
Watch Brian Holmes into the final corner as well. Oh, I definitely thought about it, didn't he? But it's going to be Ash Sutton who takes the win, Adam.
Yeah, he's got the run. He's got control. He won the opening race of the day, and he's going to bookend that with a win in the final race of the day. Ash Sutton crosses the line to make it 2 out of 3 in the showdown here, with McIntyre second, Rose third, Holmes fourth, and Michael Blake in 5th.
Yeah, what a great job by everybody at the front. That was how to race clean and fast. And wow, looking down that timing screen, the top 22 drivers are separated by 13 seconds. 13 seconds covering a field bigger than the Formula 1 grid.
Yeah, it doesn't take an idiot to work out that that's on average less than a second a car. That's how close it was in the field. And well, this race has definitely been interesting in terms of the championship. Another win for Sutton, no points for Wojciech, and no points for Jack Sedgwick either.
No, and looking at the list in a bit more detail as well. None for Michael Hall.
None for Paul Smith.
Laidler out in the AM category. Smith. I mean, that's going to hurt the Pro-Am Teams Championship more than the drivers, because Smith not in contention for either of those. Missed too many races, really. But yeah, I mean, what a meeting to come back to. I love that. That was fast. It was clean, and by all, pretty much everybody just gave it everything, and it was brilliant. That's what touring car racing should be about. By all means, we like a crash every now and again, but that was just terrific.
Yes, it's proven itself for America that it's a track that lends itself to touring cars. I think we've determined after today. Now we head to tracks that have really established themselves as some of the best for BSRTC racing over the next few weeks. The Glen, Interlagos, Monza and Daytona. So if this is the first time you've watched the BSRTC today, make sure you join us next week, because the racing at the Glen is something else, really. Got to have to hold on for the ride of your life, really, for 3 races that are going to be coming up at the same time next week. Of course, if you're outside the UK, it will be an hour earlier, because our clocks go back this weekend, back to Greenwich Mean Time. So it'll be 8 o'clock in the UK, still the same time, but if your clocks haven't gone back elsewhere, then it'll be an hour earlier. But we'll get some interviews in a moment. But first, here are the race results from the final race of the day. Will you take it away?
All right, so race 3, round 87 of the season, goes to Ash Sutton, and that's his 16th win of the 2018 championship. Jack McIntyre in 2nd place, Christian Rose in 3rd, Brian Holmes 4th, Michael Blake 5th, 6th for Jake Blackall, Jamie Rushworth 7th, Magic Sakovic in 8th, Dave Baker 9th, and Mark Johnson in 10th. There were only 4.5 seconds separating the top 10. And then only another 3 seconds from 11th to 22nd. Pete Harrod, 11th. Adam Hadfield, 12th. Stephen Baxter, that was a good result for him after a difficult meeting in 13th. Excuse me, Daniel Brown, 14th. Adam McNally in 15th. Good points for the AM category for both of those guys. Ross McFarlane in 16th. Alex Simpson 17th. Solid meeting if you discount the incident with Baxter, really. Nico Foggy in 18th place for NLR GT Omega. And then Josh Simmons in 19th. Chris Wood 20th. Craig Williams in 21st. Miguel Freitas in 22nd. Good comeback weekend meeting for him. Kip Stevens 23rd. 24th. Max Wright. Scott Malcolm 25th. And Ronald Moons in 26th. He pretty much took out Jack Sedgwick. Robert Graham 27th. Mark Woodhouse 28th. Lee Deemer 29th. Will Daniels in 30th. Martin Front 31st. Pete Newman in 32nd. And Sven Glatzel down in 33rd after the big collision at the at turn 3. And then Morgan Butler 34th. I think he had a crash at some point. Colin Cunniff 35th. Anwar Smith in 36th. He retired from the race, as did Paul Smith, Jack Sedgwick, Wojciech Suridovic, Michael Hall, and sadly out very early on, Adam, was Rusty Laidler.
Yeah, and I wonder what that's going to do in terms of the Pro-Am Championship, because Laidler, who had made a good start to things there, it's not going to be going too well for him going out of here. I think a few of the drivers will have food for thought going to the Glen in a few weeks. While we wait for those championship standings to be updated, we haven't really mentioned that. Today. It's the first TED pun of the day, and we'll get on to the interviews. We have got the first retiree from the race waiting to talk to us in the interview area. So it's going to be a pretty short story about what happened in the third race, but we'll talk to him about the rest of the race meeting too. It's Rusty Laidler.
You all right, boys?
Yeah, since I think we have all three of us in the in the interview room. But tell us about that final race, because there isn't really much to talk about, really. It was over within about 60 seconds.
No, and I think that's how the incident review is going to go, and I think that's going to be the rest of the other drivers' BSRTC career is going to be over just as... But, yeah, apart from that, I was having a really good meeting. I had a cracking race with McNally and Hadfield in race 1. It was a proper good fight.
Oh, we've just seen
second, third.
Just seen live on the screen. Sorry, Rusty, that you've just got absolutely walloped there.
Yeah, say no more. He knew what he was doing. He never lifted. He never braked. He went right hand down, foot flat to the floor. And I'll just to reiterate to everyone, this isn't his first offence at intentional wrecking, so we all know how the rules go on that. But we'll leave that for the stewards to sort out. Focus on the positives. I had a really cracking race 1 and race 2, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the showdown. I achieved my goal this season already. I wanted to win the overall, you know what I mean? I wanted to win the main season. I wanted to finish top for that. So anything after that's a bonus for me. So I'm in it for the team. So I'm just gutted that I didn't score any points for the team in that last race. But hey ho, these things happen. You can't help it when there's folk like that about. But what can you do?
Well,
I will say I only saw an in-car view, so I didn't see who it was. But I will.
I'm not trying to force an opinion out of you guys.
Oh no, I've just seen it from the outside, and that looks exactly like what you said it was.
Yeah.
So no. So I won't say anything else.
I know you guys have to stay independent on the fence, and I respect that. So you know, I'm happy because obviously you're friends with everybody. But yeah, just the tone of your voice kind of says everything that I'm feeling right now. But I'm not letting him know.
I will say to
anyone know that I'm upset, because I'm not.
I will say, just to interrupt you, we saw it from a chase angle, and yeah, I mean, yeah, what you said looks somewhat.
It is what it is.
Suspect, yeah.
It ended my evening prematurely, but it hasn't ended my championship. It hasn't ruined my night. Not letting him think that he's like ruined things for me, because he'll get a sick kick out of that, because that's the kind of person he is. I'm looking forward. As I say, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Looking forward to hanging out with the rest of my friends in CQR and other teams like Team Mad, NLR, Apex. This is what we're here for, isn't it? Racing, and there's some fantastic camaraderie in amongst this grid. And yeah, and obviously with you boys as well, who I enjoy coming in and winding up. You know, having a bit of a nudge here and there.
Well, I think
like you do when we're on the track with you, mate. So it's no different.
Hey, when I see you boys on the track, I go my way. I go my way to give you a little bit of a rub, because you get it easy all season long, hiding in this little commentary booth. Nah, if I see you, you're getting a bit of my...
Are you at the 24-hour race in Milton Keynes, Rusty, next year?
Unfortunately, I am.
Oh, well.
So,
well,
and if you just have to ask, some of the Team Mad boys. I drive exactly the same in a kart. I act exactly the same in a kart than as you in the Pro Series. I think it was Magic Sandwich. He tried to put a silly move on me in a kart when I raced for Crozier's like after Wedding Stag 2. And yeah, he saw me get rather angry at him. He saw the middle finger get waved at him and everything. He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he's exactly the same as he's on the track."
Well, I think if we're racing in the middle of the night, then
we won't be able to see who it is, so we'll just hit everyone. So anyway, I have a weight advantage, so you're screwed. Thanks anyway, Rusty, for being in the commentary box. It's always good to chat to you, mate. And
anytime,
hopefully next week goes a bit smoother.
Hey, is what it is. Been an absolute pleasure chatting with you boys again. You have yourselves a good evening.
Same to you.
Cheers, Rusty.
Bit unfortunate, wasn't it, for Laidler, really?
Yeah,
Adam,
box
what happened
office,
there?
isn't he? Really? Yeah.
He is.
But,
I mean, you can sit and listen to him talk all night, but we've only got a limited amount of time.
Ted. Well, I'm sure the Glen is one of his. I think it's a track that should suit him. So
yeah,
we'll move on to someone
it's CQR the straight line speed, isn't it? So I think they've got a good opportunity of a win. I think.
Well, we've spoken to someone from the CQR camp, and I think we're gonna. I'm sure Rusty will admit we'll dial it back and speak to a person that's had a better evening, apart from when he collided with Stephen Bax in the opening race of the evening. Alex Simpson, hello.
Evening.
It's the showdown has started okay, but the first race, you and Stephen Baxter got a bit close for comfort and took a bit of tyre barrier as well down at turn 5.
Yeah, that was a bit of a shame. I was feeling really racy as well. I was sat very, very comfortable behind Ash. A couple of times I could have sort of sent one, and I was like, no, patience will win out. And I think he got that run on Glatzel, and I was up the inside. That also let, of course, Baxter have a bit of a run on me. And then under braking, sort of I drifted a little bit towards the apex, and Baxter drifted out, as you naturally do, because you're trying to get a bit of extra line, and we both drift into each other, and then there's contact. So yeah, I'm a bit gutted, because I felt like we could have both had a really, really good, strong result there. But alas, I finished. That was the most important thing. So yeah, and so did David, which was priority number one, I think, for both of us at the start. Would have been the worst thing to kick it off like that. But the rest of the meeting was good.
Yeah. One thing I was amazed by was I thought that this would be probably the race meeting where you try and take it pretty cautious and get some points on the board. But no, you guys were really going at it in all three of the races.
Yeah, well, of course, after that, I needed to try and sort of hold on to my position best I could. The car was really damaged, so I was defending really hard. I think we had a great battle with Pete Newman. That was phenomenal, so thanks for that one, Pete. And then race 2, I had to go for it because obviously after dropping what I consider those points, needed to get a good result on the board for the second one. So I kind of caution went to the wind and got a good result. And then in that third one, just a bit disappointing really. Obviously, I think, I hate to say it, but I think it was a bit of net code between me and Martin front, and it kind of sucked us into each other when we're going through the carousel and pulled us both wide. I'm really gutted for that because we had a good start. I need to, I don't know if you've seen it, but you need to look at Adam Hadfield's overtake going on both me and Martin front. Epic or absolute utter sheer luck, one of the two, So he just literally was like, I'm sending it! And and that was it. It was like, hold on to your hats, we'll either make it or we won't. But I think he leaned a little bit on front to make it, but it looked good. I jumped out the way, crapping myself for that one. I was like, oh dear, here we go. But just happy that, again, I got it home, had some good battles there. I think when we were sort of tucked up in that pack between some of the NLR cars, more than anything, I'm just trying not to get disqualified because it was checked up, and we were just getting like little 0x's that were turning into 4 and stuff like that. It was really difficult, and everybody was too wide, so there was just nowhere to go. Bit of a frustrating race. Definitely felt like I had enough in the tank to perhaps even got back to a top 10 in that one. But yeah, c'est la vie. 3 finishes and onwards to the next one, wherever that is.
It's the Glen.
The Glen.
Just a word on on the team as a whole. Here is team principal. Wojciech picked up a 0 in that final race.
So did Jack as well. Yeah.
So did Jack. But you know as well as anybody with Seb in 2015, it doesn't mean that the championship's by any means over.
No, not at all. Points have been updated. He's only 76 points behind Sutton at the moment, who I will say is going to be a force to be reckoned with in this one. No doubt. Definitely, yeah, you know how good he is coming through the pack. So, personally, I thought he toned himself down a little bit this race as well, and still came through like a rocket ship. So, if he does that and avoids any incidents and stuff like that, he's going to be the one to beat in this. But yeah, Wodge with the 0 points, and Jack as well. Very unfortunate, especially for the team, because I think looking at the points after the first 2 rounds, we'd moved ourselves up into the teams championship into 2nd, and we're closing in on CQR. And we were like 1, 2, and 4 or something like that in the drivers' championship. So it was a good start, but in the end, yeah, CQR 1, 2, and 3. So great job from them. But like you say, long way to go. And yeah, I'm only 49 points behind, so closed in on the leader effectively going into this one. Because I think I went into it sort of 50 something behind with the bonuses and stuff. So I'll take that.
And the Glen, I think me and Woody described it as the Talladega of the Showdown. It's probably one of the quickest tracks we'll go to, aside from Monza. It's going to be tough to find a bit of space around there because you're going to be slipstreaming for a good portion.
Yeah, I mean this is a big old slipstream circuit as well, and so is the Cups.
In fact, they all are, aren't they?
Yeah, the Cups. I wonder if that was intentional, because I do feel like, you know, the Showdown does obviously close it back up. It is a bit more open to all those drivers in the top 15 on who can win it, depending on what happened. And then you throw in all the draft tracks as well, and it really is a bit of a lottery. So, yeah, I would be amazed if everybody in the Showdown doesn't get at least 1 DNF through the course of this sort of 5 weeks. Yeah, so those that don't, I think, are going to be in a really, really strong position. So. Yeah, Watkins, that'll be good fun. I don't think I've ever drove Cup circuit once, you know. Just the down to the carousel and round and back. So
is that the layout we're doing?
I'm pretty sure it's the Cup, isn't it? I don't think it's the Classic.
So we've been there already, haven't we?
I think we've been there already.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the Cup. So it's
well.
Yeah. No, it does say Classic. It does say Classic. My bad. So that's not all that bad. But,
it's no chicane, isn't it? No chicane and
carousel. I mean, no chicane before the bus stop, before the carousel.
Correct. Yeah. If it had been the Cup,
then
it'd have been very interesting. That's for sure. Although I'm going to check it.
Don't give them ideas.
Because I think even the Classic is still that, isn't it? It's still that one. Maybe someone can confirm.
Don't give them any ideas. We might end up at Monza again.
Watkins Classic is the Cup without the chicane, so it's not the.
Wow,
so yeah,
chicane.
So it's super tasty. That is. So hold on to your whatever.
Not just
because it's gonna get interesting. Oh, we see some big ones in there, haven't we? I mean, even when we've been commentating, like think of some of the wrecks that we've seen going down that back straight. Oh my.
Just quickly though, mate, before. Well, you said earlier on you're going to fight for this title. Has today changed your opinion of that, or do you think you're still in a good position?
Yeah, still in with every opportunity. I think. I mean, certainly pace looked good today. You know, definitely was able to sort of compete without draft with like Wodge, Ash, and Foggy and co. So I definitely feel like I've got the potential there in there, so I will hide nothing and say, I've had to do the practice for it, So, yeah, it makes it's made the difference for me. Definitely sort of picked up about a half a second. So, yeah, feeling confident. I'll put in the same work rate for Watkins and all the other circuits, and we'll see what we can do.
We were saying on the commentary that even though it only seems like a short Showdown 5 weeks, still 15 races, still a lot can happen.
Oh, so much can happen. Even tonight, so much has already happened. I mean, we've had some pretty big DNFs tonight. So it wasn't just watching Jack. Wasn't Foggy had one, didn't he?
Paul.
And Paul, yeah. So you know, yeah, there's let's say the last thing any of them wanted on the first race, that's for sure, or first meeting.
That's it.
Kip had one as well, didn't he? So there's a lot of pro guys already, already down there. So Colin obviously had a bit of an issue, didn't he? But he got the reverse pole, so that kind of helped him. Yeah.
That's it. Well, I'll tell you what, mate. It's always good to have you in the commentary box, and
can I say it's good to have you in the commentary
well.
box? You know, great to have you back in the commentary box, mate.
Well, it's good to be back. Wasn't sure, as Adam said, you know, we weren't sure whether that would ever be a thing. So, yeah, very pleased to be back, and enjoyed it a lot.
Just glad you're on the menu, mate. Priority number one, and yeah, you can get on there and do this. Awesome.
I'm happy to be back, and we're happy to see you do well, and hopefully it carries on.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Did mention Colin Cunniff. He's joining us now in the commentary box. What are you taking away with? The Scotsman.
Yeah, Colin, hello, mate.
Hi, I second what you said. It's good to have you back, Woody.
It's good. Oh, thanks, mate. It's like I say, it's great. It's great to be back. It's great to be back. I've missed it a lot. I'm scaling back how much I'm doing for the future, because I've got something else planned, which I'll no doubt tell people in good course. But yeah, it's great to be back out there, seeing all the action, and seeing you doing so well in the second race. Well done.
Well, I had a quali ban in race 1, so it was just a case of surviving that one and seeing what happened, and luckily I got third for race 2, and then when I got leading into the second corner, I thought this is great, and then Miguel Freitas was just rapid. And then it was clear that he was just sitting behind me waiting for the last couple of laps, and yeah, it was one of my toughest wins I've had.
Yeah, because yeah, we thought that maybe initially it might have been one of your easier wins. Excuse me, because the thing is that Freitas obviously drove last year, but he hasn't really driven much this year. He was something we said on commentary, he was something like 79th in the championship or something. He's only done a handful of races, so we weren't sure how he was going to go. But
he's always quick and he's very racy normally, but the conditions kind of caught me out as well. It was that wee bit hotter, and I just couldn't get the front tyres to work for like 3 laps.
But it was very important for you, I guess. Sorry to cut you off. It was very important to get that start right, and you really lunged into turn 1. You really gave it. You know, you were like, I'm winning this race, and that was, you had to get that done.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just coming up behind Rob Graham. You have to treat it like the back end of a donkey. So I knew I had to get it done in race 1. So yeah, it's just once I got that done. But yeah, a brilliant race with Miguel. But like I say, I knew I kind of had that feeling that he was just backing off, because he was gaining really quick, and then going into the braking zone, he was just backing off. So I kind of made a mistake on the second last lap.
Oh, we've just seen. We have just seen what's happened to you in that last race on the screen. We were on board as well, and it looked pretty like it would make you jump a little bit.
I'm concentrating on race 1 and 2 rather than race 3.
And then all we saw was sky, trees, ground, sky, trees, ground.
Yeah, and, I braked, and I think Mark behind me was unsighted, because he was right behind me pretty much, and yeah, he hit me, and yeah, it was a wee bit dizzy after a wee while. Had 180-degree steering to the last 3 laps, so I did manage to finish the race, thankfully. So
that's the important thing.
Points. Yeah, I mean, that was it. I was just, once I'd got my bearings again, I was just like, right, I think I can get this to the finish. I didn't know how much incident points I had or anything like that, so it was just a case of just trying to keep the incident points low. So because there was no incident limit in that race, so we'll see what happens.
Well, we have got the updated standings, and you've gone up to 11th.
Well, considering I shouldn't have been there in the first place, I'm not too fussed. I say, I let all the other guys, they're a lot quicker than me. They've got a lot better chance of getting it. Well, I suppose it's fighting for second or third, because Ash is just absolutely dominating it.
Yeah, we'll see though, because I mean,
if he's driving for a championship, he knows how to drive. He's done it before, so I'm quite confident that he could probably go away with it.
depends how many races he can do. I imagine as well.
He's done for the year now, is he not?
Well, no, he is, but I think last year he ended up off to do other things, didn't he? I think in the test a few things and.
He's not got the same commitments as he did last year, I don't think, because after what happens.
Who knows? But
we'll see.
Hey, look, it's not a one-horse race. There's 15 people in with a chance, and that's what you've got to.
I was listening to you talking to Alex, and yeah, anything can happen. So it's all about finishing. One DNF is pretty much is what it could take. So like Alex said as well, if very rarely everybody's going to finish every race. So just a case of seeing what happens.
Well, that's it. I mean, Adam, we were talking before. I mean, Wojciech Savidovic 3 titles, Kip Stevens 2 titles, Jimmy Rushworth has won 1 as well. Dave Baker has. There's a lot of experience, a lot of championship quality there as well, who can also know their way to navigate through the waters.
Well, there's a lot of race victories in that top list as well. So
yeah,
championships. It's people.
Well, and you've got 4 of them just this season. So. You've got more than most of them have actually in that showdown. Only Wojciech and Baker and Sutton have got more wins than you have this season, Colin. So
is that right?
That is right.
I'm not believing that.
I am not making it up. You're on the same. I'll tell you, you've got the same as Foggy, the same as Sven, and the same as Alex. But yeah, there's only 3 guys with more wins than 4 wins that you've got. So.
To be fair, I think the 3 wins in the season, I just happened to luck into a pole position.
I will name and
race was rubbish.
I will name and shame you to some extent. Though you've had 4 podiums and they've all been first place.
That's not too bad, eh? All or nothing.
I think that's the problem. Hey, look, we hope that you can turn some of those get a few more podiums and yeah, be challenging all the way to Daytona at the end. Let's see.
I will see. So I'll give it a good go anyway.
Well, always good to have you in, mate, and we'll get you next time as well.
No, but it's always good to see you as well, Adam. It's not just all about
Rudy. Say it. It could not be true. Words could not be spoken.
Cheers, guys.
See ya.
Yeah, it's not as if I remind him.
How much have you paid him for that?
Nothing at all.
I'm absolutely outraged.
Well, before this escalates, we'll wrap it up here at Road America.
Evidently, he paid you more than Marco Barbanera did for the reverse grids because it actually worked.
Well, yeah. Can't say any more, really, can I? No. That is it from here at Road America. Yeah, I've been given an injunction. I can't really allude. That's what it is. I'm sure Philip Green knows what one of those things are.
Dear.
My thanks. This is a really awful outro, but my thanks to Sam Kumo, who's been on the cameras and having to put up a muscle for the first time in ages again.
I know. Poor guy.
I have to say his camera work has been pretty good today.
Yes.
Kept making sure that we caught all the right things at the right time. And well, thanks to Woody for being back in the commentary box. It's been a while, and hopefully we can share the booth again for the next 4 weeks.
Well, that's it, definitely.
Who's going to be the BSRTC champion. And thank you for watching as well. We'll be back next week, 8 PM, Greenwich Mean Time. Make sure you switch those hours back. We get an extra hour in bed as well on Sunday. And the series heads to Watkins Glen, the classic cup layout. It is going to be a slipstream fest. And you don't want to miss it, as the BSRTC Showdown could be taking another twist. It's shaping up to be the best for many years, and you don't want to miss it, as Ash Sutton wins 2 out of 3 to move to the top of the championship standings. Will he be there this time next week? Make sure you join us, from all of us here at Apex Racing TV. Good night.